Donnie, what up? What up, Donnie? What up? What up? Yeah, I'm gonna go a little early. I fell asleep last night because these brothers were so boring that I gotta go. I gotta go live earlier tonight. I'm live now. Like they were so boring. Uh-oh, can't have that happening. Not the double echo. Okay, so where the hell's it coming from? Okay, all right. Yeah, they were so boring, man. I mean, they were absolutely boring. And it wasn't like the subject, it wasn't the reading, it was them, because anything can be boring if you're not interested. If somebody's speaking about things I like the animal kingdom, specifically crocodiles or lions, like I love reading, watching anything about crocodiles and lions. That's never boring to me. I'll be attentive as hell. You dig? But somebody else might be dozing off. So that doesn't mean the teacher is boring, or the lesson is boring. It just means that this person wasn't as interested as myself. But last night, with Grla Hebrew on her side, it wasn't because we were not interested. We were interested to hear their points. We can easily debunk their points. You dig? It was absolutely boring. Like these guys are reading passages. The title says Romans 11 breakdown, and they're breaking down everything else incorrectly. But I don't care. That's not the point. The point is they are breaking down other stuff. I don't agree with the breakdown, but they're not breaking down Romans 11. And when they finally got to it, hit in pieces, because they broke it down in pieces. Like so, they'll read like Romans 11, like 5, and break, and then they'll don't read 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll touch that a little bit, run somewhere else, break down something else that had nothing to do with Romans 11 and 5, and then they'll come back 40 minutes later to Romans 6 and 7, and same thing with 8 and 9. They'll like, dude, this is a 2-hour video, and you really didn't touch on Romans 11 that much. But the video is called Romans 11 Breakdown. It should have been the evidence for the evidence to support the Israelites are Gentiles, Romans 11, something like that. So we could be prepared for all these rabbit holes. Oh my God. That was a waste of 2 hours from them. And this is why they probably leaving, Sakari. It's a waste. That was a waste. At least like Nathaniel 7, when he goes into it, I disagree with Nathaniel 7, but at least he was entertaining. You dig? He was reading things that supposedly support the same position, but it was clearly entertaining, more entertaining than these guys. Even Captain debate that he had with Stacy on the same subject, entertaining. You're not going to sleep with Captain and Stacy. You're up. If you're interested in this type of thing, you were up and attentive the whole debate between Stacy and Captain on this subject. Nathaniel 7 breakdown. You're up. Even Arila breakdown was just as boring, but at least his debate was not boring. When he debated Yimra Yah, that debate, you could watch it, be interested, and not fall asleep. But goddamn, I don't know what it is with Sakari and the breakdowns. Like you could tell, like these guys never presented a presentation outside of like a religious atmosphere. Like they never was at work, they never was in school, and had to present something and go into it. Like y'all already know how we give it up. You dig? I'm a product of Sinetta Studio, Sinetta TV. So like we know how to do this. Present. We've seen so many people do it before us. We got tips and tricks, and you dig? We just mimic them, copy them with our own style. But also, when I was in, school for computers, I had to do a presentation then. So you dig? But man, like I guess you're not a product of Sinetta Studios, and you're in this woke arena, like you're not gonna have to present. This is why like these guys are terrible. And then when they go to the blue letter, they're not doing a good job of educating in the blue letter. Like they're just talking about things in the blue letter that really makes no sense. And the person watching is not edified. It's not like they learned something. They can take it away. You guys got to admit, when me and Meech went into LJ, if we went to the Blue Letter on this channel, you guys knew like you guys could take our same argument and go with it and run with it and beat people up. Like that's how clear it was. That's how easy it was to grasp it. You could be no man. She don't give a damn about this at all. But if she listened to like 7-hour debates or even recaps, I bet she would clearly understand our position and be like, yeah, no, yeah, I'm biased and Meech are right. The other guys are wrong. We made it that simple. But I have a background of I got a real background of making complex things simple on various subjects. You could say the vax, you could say you just name it. The Big Bang, Bible, civil, your civil rights, history. You did things that seem to be complex. The '94 crime bill. When I went into that, stop and frisk. When I went into that seems a little confusing. Just name it. Even the pipeline to school to prison. When I finally did that. So that's what indigenous black men can learn from. But you can't teach an old fool new tricks. Like, dude, just because you mention something, it doesn't mean you taught him. You just mentioned it. That's the Elijah Muhammad syndrome. He mentioned things, never went into full detail, and because he said it, that's enough for his members to say Elijah Muhammad taught that. It's like, really? Well, you teach me then. Nah, Google it. Yeah, because he didn't teach it. He just mentioned it. Oh, it's life on Mars. Oh, he said it back in those days. So if scientists say it now, he taught it first. No, he didn't teach nothing, or he didn't say it first. But when he did say it, he didn't go into how there's life on Mars. He didn't prove anything. He didn't go any articles, anything like that. He just said it. But that's not how scholarship works. All right. So my live, because I got to use iPads now. I definitely had time. He fell asleep in the car, so I couldn't have done it. But I had time to go get my laptop today. But it's just always bad. Something going wrong. All right. So you got to know how to present, and you got to be educational so the viewers are watching. And like I said, when we went into these different subjects, even we did the vax thing, nobody you guys got interested because we beat a dead horse like a whole year or two. So like people, and that was the only talking points. Even on Signet, you go anywhere else, that's all he was talking about. Definitely due to Unc. Unc started that subject, and we just kept talking about it. Everybody started talking about it. Like we made it cool to talk about that. He realized everybody talking about that. Kenneth started to get on that. All right, so let me do this. East Coast ain't got love for live sports. West Coast ain't got love. How did Suge Knight say that? East Coast? No. Who said that? Snoop. East Coast ain't got love for Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. All right. Okay. So I want to see which video. I guess I'm gonna hate to go to Hebrew first. Let me do Nathaniel 7. Let me get him out the way because he's almost done. No. Who said that, Snoop? All right. So let me get him out the way first. All right. Let's get it. Hey, let's get it, yo. All right. So let me get the thing out the way, and then I'm gonna get those weirdos up the way. Grla Hebrew. No. All right. Yeah, Nathaniel's got a few more. Actually, damn, they're like tied. All right, so let me Grla. Let me get him out the way. All right. Oh, this is some silly stuff, man. Some silly stuff. You know what? Let me grab my headphones. I'm try to keep them sweet as long as possible. Hey, let's get it, yo.
That holy root is what his vineyard is sown with, not with diverse seeds, or else he wouldn't have gave us the commandment to not sow field with diverse seed. Right? Go ahead.
I put the headphones in. You guys can hear the video, but you guys can't hear me. Yep. Dang. So I didn't want to wake my son up, so that's why I had the headphones in. But you guys can't hear me. Yeah, there's no microphone. Whatever. All right, so let's just move on.
Fruit of thy seed, which thou hast sown, and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled.
See that? And that's what happened now, because now we have vineyards set up, religions set up that have diverse seed in it. Israelite, Edomite, Moabite, Ammonite, all in one church congregation or belief system, and we see how defiled these things are. We see how perverted and corrupt these institutions are that are vineyards with multiple seeds planted in it. Right? Back to that, Romans
11 and 18. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the.
I wish I could like split the screen. That's what Zoom got to catch up at. Like the other ones, you could like split the screen and show this video with the scriptures. See, Zoom got to catch up on that. He said today I got time. Yeah, I came on early, man, because I fell asleep last night. I've been just going too late, and the only way he'll go to sleep, I lay down with him, because if I'm up live, he's gonna be up live. I gotta lay down with him, and then he'll go to sleep. But the problem is, I go to sleep with him. All right. So again, this is the new debate topic I'm headed at, and already I got enough. The virgin birth took me a little longer to like dominate, but this one I pretty much got enough already. And now it's just the proving grounds. I just got to get these guys in the ring and beat them up. Like I said, I got all the information I pretty much need. Of course, I'll take more information, but I got enough because I heard a lot of their points. So I just don't know the different style of debates. Like virgin birth, I mastered it. I knew every camp, what they didn't know, what they knew, and what argument they would use. I knew the difference between camps. These guys I don't know, all these camps, and I don't even know their go-to. But there's some areas that I would stay away from because it leads to a super rabbit hole. So even though I know they're wrong, but like it's some rabbit holes they would go. Like for example, Jacob's well, John 4. You guys are gonna see me avoid that one because that's a debate. That's a debate all to itself. Just like Romans 11 is a debate all to itself. Well, John 4 is a debate all to itself. So if I'm debating Romans 11, I'm gonna try to stay away from John 4. If they bring it up, I'm just gonna let them go. You dig? Because again, that if I challenge them there, that's gonna be the new debate. It'll be no longer Romans 11. All right. So you know what? How about this? How about I read Romans 11 first? How about that? How about I just read Romans 11 in context? So we could, because these guys ain't gonna do it. All right. So let me just read it, and then we can let them go on. I think I'm gonna do that every live. Every live, when I do a recap of these guys in Romans 11, I'm just gonna read it first. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna read it in my favorite translation, just so we get some context, the biblical context, before we start trusting them. All right, give me a second. Yeah. So I'm gonna have the King James up as well, and BibleHub.com. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna be back up and running real soon. I'm gonna have less time to go live. Probably be on some weekend shit, like Friday, like at night now. I'll probably be live Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I most likely are not gonna once because I got some stuff in place. And once they get cooking very soon, I'm not gonna be able to do a Monday through Thursday live, but I'm definitely not gonna want to because the time restrictions. So it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right, let me what am I doing here? Oh. Okay, so let's go to Romans. Okay, let me go to my favorite translation, which is the GWT, God's Words Translation. So I want to say this. I'm not interested in debating Captain on this one because I never really had smoke for Captain. He just was, like they preached a no coward thing, so he stepped up for the One West Israelites to debate me on the Virgin Birth from the big states like Sinettis. But I never wanted Captain. Like that's why I wasn't like aggressive and all crazy like I would have been had it been Sakari. I was like kind of nice, respectful. So because like I said, I don't really have any smoke for Captain, but I definitely got smoke for Sakari and anybody associated with them. So this go around, I don't want Captain or anybody from ISBK. I want Sakari or anybody else. It could be IUIC, GOC, anybody besides ISBK on this topic. Another topic, maybe resurrection and reincarnation. Maybe I'll do that with Captain. But as far as this Romans 11 Gentile thing, I don't want anybody from ISBK. I want everybody else. Because I'm not giving nobody a break. Nobody else a break. I gave them a break by debating Captain when I was on this one. So, and the only way I debate Captain on Romans 11 if the other guys just cowered out totally, where they just are uninterested, all of them. Then I say, all right, Captain, let me beat you up again. On Sinetta, or even his channel. Okay, so here's Romans 11. Nice and big. And I'm not saying pause or no biggie. Nice and big. Okay, so I ask, has God, this is Apostle Paul talking. So I ask, has God rejected his people? That's unthinkable. Consider this. I am an Israelite myself, a descendant of Abraham from the tribe of Benjamin. God has not rejected his people whom he knew long ago. Don't you know what Elijah says in the scripture passage when he complains to God about Israel? He says, Lord, they've killed your prophets and tore down your altars. I'm the only one left, and they're trying to take my life. But what was God's reply? God said, I've kept 7,000 people for myself who have not knelt to worship Baal. So as there were then, there are now a few left that God has chosen by his kindness. If they were chosen by God's kindness, they weren't chosen because of anything they did. Otherwise, God's kindness wouldn't be kindness. Now, disclaimer, I'm not against religion. I'm not religious, but I'm not against religion. Like a lot of people who are not religious, they're usually against religion. I'm not. I think there's pros and cons to it. I think there's pros and cons to it. Right? Because not every religious person is anti-science. Like some people just say they're religious and don't even look into the books at all. They just say, I'm just Muslim, I'm just Christian, I'm just this, Jehovah's Witness, Mormon. And they don't even be really into like practice like that. You even got some Jewish people I work with who are like wore everything, the yarmulke, everything, the white and everything. And he was straight savage. Like he was like, nah, like I'm Jewish, but I'm not a practicing Jew. You dig? So, anyways, what I just read right here was in the proper context. The Hebrew one West Israelites takes out of context. We just read that at one point Elijah, the prophet Elijah, he thought he was the last prophet left because he didn't know of any other prophets because they were all famous amongst Israel, and the Most High revealed, no, you're not the last one left. I got 7,000 other people who never knelt to Baal. Okay, so what he's saying is the same time now during the Romans time, during the Roman Empire era. Apostle Paul is saying that I know it seems like all of Israel has bowed down and did God dirty and went to idols, but he's saying that there are some elected people out there that didn't bow down and they're still around, and God had found favor in them. So when it says, has God rejected his people, he's not saying all of Israel is in the safe zone. Safe. He's saying those who didn't bow down to those guys and marry other idols outside, the ones that did, they're rejected. But the ones who didn't, that God know about, that's in secrecy, I guess, those people are not rejected. So like that's the context here. It's not that there's some wicked Israelite that God's still favoring. So he goes into it. He says, so what does all this mean? It means that Israel has never achieved what it has been striving for. However, those whom God has chosen has achieved it. The minds of the rest of Israel were closed. So God has chosen certain people to achieve what all of Israel was striving for. That's called the elect. And then he said the other ones, their eyes were closed. They're called the blinded. So you don't have Gentile Israelites or Southern Israelites, Northern Israelites. That's gone. What you have is the elect of Israel and you have the blind of Israel. That's all that matters. Not the northern and southern thing that they go into. So it says, as scripture says, to this day, God has given them a spirit of deep sleep. Their eyes don't see and their ears don't hear. So he said, as scripture says, to this day, so that's in the old times, but he's saying, he's referencing now during his time. God has given them Israel. So who's the topic? So the topic doesn't change. We're talking about Israel collectively. This ain't Israel, northern, Israel, southern. Keep that down, write that down. This is important. So he says, to this day, God's given them a deep spirit of sleep. So who are the them? That's a plural now. That is the ones of Israel collectively. So there's some people of Israel. That means northern and southern come together. He has given them, some of them, a deep sleep, northern, southern collectively. He said their eyes don't see and their ears don't hear. That's northern and southern collectively, because the other northern and southern are the elect. They have been chosen. They have achieved it. Then he says, and David says, let the tables set for them become a trap and a net and a snare and a punishment for them. That plural noun again, that's talking about the Israelites collectively who God didn't choose, who he has rejected, and now they are blind and been blind then. Let their vision become clouded, see, so that they cannot see. Let them carry back breaking burdens forever. Okay. So I ask, as Israel stumbled, so we're talking about Israel again, collectively, northern, southern together. Don't let this skip past you. So when we had this discussion, it's important to understand this, okay? So I asked, has Israel collectively, north and southern Israel, stumbled so badly that it cannot get up again? That's unthinkable. By Israel's failure, by the southern and northern Israel's failure, salvation has come to people who are not Jewish to make the Jewish people jealous. So in this context, the Jewish people are the Israelites collectively. It says the fall of the Jewish people made the world spiritually rich. So now they want to play semantics. The world, not the world, means world of Israel. Stop. Okay. The fall of Israel has made the world rich because God started to take away what he gave his people and just throw it to the side, and the world has been stealing it, picking it up and putting it in their treasures and stuff. You dig? He said, so the inclusion of Jewish people will make the world even richer. Okay. So now I speak to you who are not Jewish, right? So, which be the Gentiles. As long as I am an apostle sent to people who are not Jewish, I bring my honor to my ministry. Okay, so got that. Perhaps I can make my people jealous and save some of them. Okay, now watch this. I want to just parallel this with other translations. Remember, he said not Jewish people, right? What is that? All right. Okay, so I just want you to see what I was reading. I was reading right here where it says, now I speak to your people who are not Jewish. So remember I said Gentiles? So my translation says Jewish, but everybody else just say Gentiles except for the LSV, the literal standard version. It says, for to you I speak to the nations. So it says nations and not Jewish and Gentiles, everybody but the Jews or Israelites. But see, everybody else just say, now, the New Heart English Bible says non-Jews. I told you, so Jews was seen as something that can be collective, Israel altogether. Okay, so we got the World English Bible. For I speak to you who are Gentiles, right? Who are not Jews, not Jewish. For Young's Literal Translation, for to you I speak to the nations, and as much as I am indeed an apostle of nations. So he's apostle of nations, heathen, Gentile. Administration, I do glory. Let's go to some others. Okay, so I want the modern translations. I don't want nobody else. I want these right here. I am talking to you, Gentiles. Yeah, the NIV go hard. And as much I am apostle to the Gentiles. I might go with that translation. Let me see. Got to put me as apostle, blah, blah, blah. I'm speaking to you, New American Standard Bible, but I'm speaking to you who are Gentiles, therefore I'm apostle of the Gentiles. All right, okay. All right, okay. So let's go on. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna read the different translations all together. This is something they won't do, the people with the agenda. All right. And I'm gonna stick to the modern translations. He said, in the hope that I may somehow rouse my own people. Oh my God, is that clear? He just said, I'm an Israelite, I'm a tribe of Benjamin. So he said, I'm an apostle to Gentiles, but now he's talking about his own people. So what are we doing here, man? In the hope that I may somehow rouse my own people to envy and save some of them. NLV, for I want somehow to make the people of Israel jealous of what you Gentiles have, so I might save some of them. I mean, how? You know what? Maybe we will stick to NLT. Me suggested that the other day. I'm like, nah, let's just do GWT minds. But you know what? Maybe the NLT. In the hope that I may provoke my own people to jealousy. You see? So my fellow Jews. So Israel, you see, Israel and fellow Jews are synonymous as Israel collectively, because Israel can't be northern, like a northern kingdom, and Jews can't be the southern kingdom, because we have a problem here with translations. Because now God is speaking to, in verse on the NLT, Paul will just be speaking to northern Israel, and the ESTV, Paul just speaking to southern Israel. Because we see Israel and Jews here. All right. So yeah. So Israel a lot of times can represent all the nations of Israel, and Jews that we can see can sometimes represent all the nations of Israel. You see, so this is edifying what I'm doing right here. This ain't boring, and it might be boring to some, but this is not I'm just talking. This is education. So people are learning what they're seeing. I'm actually showing the screen, not just talking. You see different translations. Then we got to my own people. Okay, so Paul's own people won't just be Jews, it'll be everybody. Okay, so let's go further. Right. So this is, again, this is what they won't do when you have this agenda. Like, I don't know why, when they believe against something like Matthew 1:16 or Romans 11, why does it take them 2 hours to do a breakdown on it. Like, that's embarrassing, because if I did a breakdown on Romans 11, it'd probably be 25 minutes. Peace, Tone G. Romans 11 is how many, look how many verses are there. It's not a large book. It's like Matthew. Matthew got like 25 verses. Look at this. Okay, it's a little more, 36. But how can 36 verses be a whole 2-hour class? Okay, so now we're at Romans 11:15. Am I Apostle Paul? Am I? It seems like I'm here to edify people the correct way. People are, and like, you have people that's Christian that argue with these guys, but they don't do a convincing job where they're winning and the other side is losing. Like, we watched hella virgin birth debates where Christians debated the one West Israelites, and they did a fair, decent job, but you didn't leave that debate like it was a clear one-sided victory. That's not how you felt. You felt like they both had points. That's why when I put together an argument against the West Israelites, I wanted to counter everything they said and have a better biblical response. So that's why you guys witnessed over 100 debates with these guys, maybe 200-300 debates with these guys. They couldn't beat me anywhere they went. I had a better translation and a comeback for everywhere they went, but they never had comebacks for me though. So this is verse. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm not. This ain't gonna be a close debate. Or even when I talk to these brothers when they hop over here one by one, like I did the Virgin Bird, it's not gonna be close. It's gonna be one-sided, where they're gonna all admit that, hey, what we're reading. Okay. For if their rejection brought reconcile, now who's it there? So the them and there, same thing. You dig? The them and there is speaking about Israel, the Jews, my own people, or the non-Jews, or you dig? So this is his own people again. So the NIV, for if their rejection brought reconciliation to the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? So I don't think anybody, even the wicked Israelites, will disagree that this is speaking about Israel. Okay, so it said their acceptance. I want to see if one version says Israel acceptance. Let's see. So everybody use the pronoun. Possessive pronoun. Okay, there we go. When Israel rejected God, the rest of the people in the world were able to turn to him. So when God makes friends with Israel, see, it was about, so that there, you see that there is Israel. This is how you properly rightly divine the word. I'm showing you that the subject here is Israel. The people, the there, forget the subject. The there is Israel. Okay, if Israel's rejection, here's my favorite translation. If Israel's rejection means, so we talking about Israel. All right, so there's no confusion there. Okay, so let's move on. So now, why they just can't do this? You see how this is going to be, what, 10 minutes? They do a whole 2-hour lecture on this and be wrong. Right? So I'm reading the same thing they're supposed to be reading, but I'm reading it in context. I'm not going nowhere else. You do that afterwards. Just read what's there and just break down what you're reading and then support it later. It's not hard, man. Okay. If the part of the dough offered as first fruits is holy, then the whole batch is holy. If the root is holy, so are the branches. Okay. So there we go. So let's move on. That's kind of, that's like an analogy. Move on. First simile. If some of the branches, okay, come on. If some of the branches have been broken off, and you, so now we're talking to different people now, all right? Well, actually, the audience has always been the Gentiles, but it's about who he was speaking to. So let me point that out. So when Paul started talking, has God cast away his people? God forbid. So he's always been talking to the Gentiles the whole time. He's just speaking about Israel. And now he's speaking about them. So you see the word you, that's a second person pronoun. So remember, he said them, there, that's third person type stuff. He is you. is some of the branches have been broken off, so the branches cannot be the audience. He says some of the branches have been broken off, and you, though a wild olive shoot, have been grafted in. So we know that the broken off are the ones who are blinded. So if he's speaking, so by default, you got to admit, if you're a one Westerner, you got to admit he's speaking to the elect. But why is he telling the elect they're grafted in? You only grafted in what wasn't supposed to be there. And then he says, so we know he's not speaking to the elect. And I don't think any one Western Israelite would say he's speaking to the elect, because you're stupid. But then you can't say he's speaking to the blinded ones, because he's talking to them in a third person, them, there. And now he's saying you. This is second person, real simple, man. Like, it's not hard to like do this stuff. So I'm kind of like saddened by the religious world, because they can't make it this easy. Like, dude, just read it, man. Okay, it's like God blinded the religious community as well. Okay, so now let's see if the you is going to say Gentile. Let's see if another translation translates this second person pronoun as a noun. Okay, so of Israel had broken, and you Gentiles, yeah, I am the best. Yeah, this is damn. Like, maybe I should get to ministry, Christian ministry. Like, damn. Why is it this hard for some people? And you Gentiles, you can't be more specific than this. Look at the emphasis. Yeah, and by the way, I've never prepped this. I tell you, I'm not formatted. I got a bunch of notes I did not, because I don't have my laptop. I'm not putting nothing together on the goddamn iPad, because I got 5 of them, and I only use the ones that got battery life. So if it's something on this iPad that I'm using, and the one I'm reading, so I got one iPad open, I'm sharing my screen, you guys looking at. I got a second iPad open where I'm looking at the chat. So I'm looking at the live like you guys. I'm able to look at the chat. So if y'all look at like day trader screens, this is how it looks. I got one iPad on the left, another on the right. And that's dope. So look, I'm day trading from afar. But it's not that hard. Why is this so hard for some people? And it's the NLT. So you know what? Meech, I gotta put some respect on Meech's name, because Meech was the one who suggested I read from the NLT, the New Living Translation. This is what the Jehovah's Witnesses use as well. The reason why I said no, because this is the one Western go-to translation. So I was just being petty. But you know what? Since they want to use this, let's use this. Oh my God, yo, karma on those guys. It just, I'm gonna call them the Hebrew ironic Israelites. Oh my God, their favorite translation from the KJV, custom. You Gentiles, okay? So I told you, you is second person Gentiles. It's my first time seeing this. I never thought to just do a translated, parallel translation breakdown. I always just go to one translation and just drop some jewels, all right? So let's do with the NW. I'm gonna do all of them, but some of these branches from Abraham. So it's even clear about the branches. It's telling you the branches are from Abraham's tree. So the branches who was broken off were Israelites from Abraham's stock. All right. So that means that, again, that's why I say he got to be speaking to either the elect of Israel, who's not broken off, who follow God's ways, who God has chosen himself, or he's talking to the Gentiles. That's it. Because the northern tribe, or the blinded Israelites, they're a third person. Okay, so we got it. See how simple I make this, man. And I think that's one of my gifts. I'm not ashamed to brag about one of my gifts. I think one of my gifts is just make things that seem complex easy. All you guys are reading it for yourself. You see that the branches are Abraham's stock, and he's speaking to the second person Gentiles. So when I show that breakdown, y'all gonna laugh when they be saying they're talking to somebody else. Okay, so and you Gentiles who are branches from a wild olive tree have been grafted in. So now, what he's saying is this is not all Gentiles. These are the believing in Gentiles. So basically, what he's doing is he's meshing together the believing Israelites, the believing Jews that represents all Israel, with the believing Gentiles. So the non-believing Gentiles are not being grafted in. Remember, he said a wild olive tree. So that wild olive tree represents Gentiles of all nations, heathens of all nations. And he's saying a few of them believed on God. So he's going to graft in those people here. So he's going to mesh the believers indiscriminately, and he's going to kick out the non-believers with the non-believers indiscriminately. You dig? So Jew, Israelite, heathen, if they're a non-believer, they're all lumped up in one pot. And Israelite and believing heathens, believing Gentiles are going to be lumped up together in the other pot. So that's what we're doing here. So now you, Gentiles, also receive the blessing God has promised Abraham and his children, sharing in the rich nourishment from the root of God's special olive tree. I am the man. That's what some people don't like. People don't like when Muhammad Ali said, I'm going to knock him out. He's going down the third round and actually doesn't. Oh, he's boastful. No, he predict. That's called prediction. And he, when I think Babe Ruth pointed to the outfield, hit the ball out there. That's not bold. I mean, he told you where it's going and it went there. I'm amongst that same stock in this realm, right? Other things maybe not, but in this realm right here, I'm in that elect stock. Because I'm making this stuff easy. This is a long-going debate between Christians and one Western Israelites, and it's like there's no winner, no clear winner. And look what I'm doing with it. It's a clear win. He's talking to Gentiles. So when they come over here and say, or we hear them say in their videos, they're not talking to Gentiles, and these are natural Gentiles, by the way, ethnic Gentiles. So when they say they're not talking about that, you can, from this point on, you can just laugh. That's why I said I'm not gonna do Captain dirty. I'm gonna do them dirty in this one. And if Captain want to be Captain Saber Israelite, then I got to get him too. And not all Israelites believe it's crazy doctrine. I know a lot of camps that agrees with the Christian stance on this. So what they do is, because I'm secretly in their groups and stuff on Facebook, so what they do is they like to tie Christianity with just wickedness, ungodly. So that means if Christians believe it, it's just wrong somehow. Like that's how they really believe. So if Christians have a baby this way, is wrong. If Christians eat with a fork this way, it's got to be wrong. So like they equate Christianity with just ungodliness. That's crazy. Okay, so now let's go here. But you must not brag about, but you Gentiles must not brag about being grafted in to replace the branches of Israel that were broken off. You are just a branch, not the root. God damn, me, my fault. My fault for not doing NLT. Ugh. This is, all right, so, okay, it's 18, because I can't see, it just says 1, okay, there we go. All right, so let's go further. A lot of scammers, disingenuous people, they don't like to see truthful people. But people who stand on like the right side, they brag about their foolishness and wickedness. And you were made in the light of God that can perform miracles. So we're not, if you're religious, you believe in God, you don't come from a God who's not boastful. All right? He brags. All right, so it says, well, you may say those branches were broken off to make room for me. So it's back to the Gentiles. All right, so he's talking about the Gentiles. Well, you may say those Israelites collectively, north and south, were broken off to make room for me. So why? What's this? I hate that little tab. I get it though, because it's free, so they're gonna put these ads. But I hate them. Is there any damn. Yeah, the pit bulls ate their owner. That was on the news. I guess he was raising pit bull, trying to sell them, and they how to become a black Hebrew. Like, what is? Oh my god. Okay, I guess I'm not fighting tomorrow because um it will be yeah, look at this. Don't mellow versus the rank is okay, nice. That's something else. All right. Okay, so let's get back. I was just trying to see if Canelo was fighting tomorrow. I guess not, because his weigh-in would be tonight, and that would be big. It'll be all over the YouTube. Go back. Yeah, we're on fire tonight or this evening. We're on fire. What's that movie by Denzel? Man on Fire. Yeah, this is bad. I want everybody to see this, even the blind Israelites. Okay, so it says so. Yes, but remember, those branches, Southern and Israel, were broken off because they didn't believe in Christ. So you see why they were broken off?
Yo,
And
what's
you
up,
are
bro?
there. Go ahead. Hey, yo, I should listen to your suggestion, man.
What happened?
That NLT is fire.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Oh, that's
And they
tough.
use it, bro. Bro, believe me. The Romans 11, all we got to do is just talk to them with this subject and be patient. Matter of fact, we need to filibuster. We want them to go to this translation just one time and it's ball game.
Give me 1 second.
Just one time, they got to go here. Ball game. This makes it so clear, right? Clear who is the you, who is the them, and who are the elect. This is clear. So you see, it says the NIV says granted, but they are broken off because of their unbelief. Not NLT. Nah, they're broken off because they don't believe in Christ. they ain't playing around. And you are there because you do believe in Christ. So don't think highly of yourself, but fear what could happen. So this is some deep stuff Apostle Paul dropping. So the reason I'm doing this because I was continuing the Grla Hebrew stuff, and because they're all over the place, all of them are all over the place, and they don't read in context. I felt like it's responsible for me to read it in context, so so the audience won't be confused when the Hebrews try to break it down. So we get the proper context first, and they get your popcorn for their breakdown, and laugh at them when they read something differently or interpret something differently.
Yeah.
So I got tired of going to the video.
How's it sound?
Let me see. Wait. I think it's kind of low. Talk again.
Is it low?
It's not loud as you are normally.
Okay, wait, hold up. How about
Because I got my volume on 100, and you
how
should
about this?
You gotta talk again.
Is this better?
Yeah. Now I don't think it sounds better in your other mic, but it's a little louder.
Yeah, I gotta get a better audio mixer because this is it's supposed to be like a dynamic condenser mic. But it depends on the audio mixer, like how well it converts the sound. I got like a cheap one right now.
The Jehovah's Witness, they read the NLT, right? That's their translation, right? Wow, they did a good job so far. So it says, "For if God did not spare the original branches, that's Israel, He won't spare you either." And remember the wild olive branch they get confused are? Yeah, the NLT make it so clear, so clear on all of it. I mean, this just look. Before you got here, I was reading like 4, 5, 6, 7 different translations, so people can get it. I'm like, nah, we stand right here NLT. But I want to keep the other ones up just for transparency, so they don't believe I'm hiding something. They're all up. Okay, so if God did not spare the original branches, Israel, He won't spare you either. Okay, you are the wild olive branches coming in, Gentiles. All right, so we're gonna laugh when we watch Grla Hebrew and we say something different. Okay. Now I was saying I got some stuff cooking in the background, like not figuratively, going on in my life. So very soon, the only time I can be able to go live is like now, Saturday and Sunday. Like the Monday, Thursday is gonna be out for a while.
Oh, you got a new job?
I got some good things cooking. I got some good things cooking. Okay, so New Living Translation. This is verse, where we at? 22, Romans 11:22. Yeah, I'm starting this pharmaceutical position. And so I'm gonna have double income. It's gonna be great. Notice how God is both kind and severe. He is severe towards those who disobeyed, but kind to you. See, back to second person, which are the Gentiles. If you continue to trust in His kindness, see, it's a contingent to that. See, but if you stop trusting, you also will be cut off. So stop bragging like you're safe, bro, you on second base. Like, matter of fact, you on first base. Like, yo, you got to go to second, third, and come home. So you don't stop talking trash about the ones broken off. You on first base. The next hit might be a ground ball, and you out. You are out. You know, Aaron Judge ain't batting.
You know, it's a good question to ask.
Mhm.
In verse 7, I thought about this. Be like, so the northern kingdom was broken off? Like, ask that question. And if they say, yeah, then ask them, okay, so the elect are the southern kingdom? And if they say, yep, you got them. Because I think they think that
I
the
was
broken
saying
off
before I
branches
even
are
read,
the wild branches.
We'll see, because I got Grla Hebrew to play. I got 13 more verses to 36 altogether. Then we got I'm gonna finish the Daniel 7, then we're gonna do Captain. So we'll see what they say, right? Because if their leaders say it, we don't even gotta ask them.
Yeah.
If we hear Hassan and Grla Hebrew say, we don't gotta ask what's correct question. That's your position. If Captain says it, ISPK, we don't gotta ask them. And if Nathaniel 7 says it, we don't gotta ask IUIC members nothing. This is your position. You have to have this position, or your leader is a dummy, or you don't trust your leadership. Okay, so now and new NLT, we got, and if the people of Israel turn from their unbelief, you see. So now he went from talking to the Israelite, the ethnic Gentiles, about if they turn from their belief, they'll be shown unkindness. So now he's going to the broken off branches. And if the people of Israel, yeah, so a lot of those questions you got to write down so we can have it formatted, because that's important to know. But like I said, even though Grla Hebrew will say it, or Nathaniel or Captain, I would still ask them just so I can get them warm with their own leaders. But I think instead of like giving them the answer, I'll just ask them who are instead of, because they're gonna be confused. So don't even tell them northern. Just say, are these branches southern, northern, or all of Israel collectively? I think that's better. You're gonna have more fun. because I got a strange feeling that a lot of them are going to say all of them together. Say, all right, well, we agreed then. That was even easier. The Gentiles are Gentiles. Okay, so they will be grafted in again. See, how they being grafted in again? They weren't grafted in the first time. For God has the power to graft them back into the tree again. So this is one of their hiccups that they're going to try to return back to us. What they mean grafted back in? They weren't grafted in the first time. Remember, you called them the natural branch. So now you're saying he grafted them. So show us the first time they were grafted in. That's what they're going to do. So just be prepared for that. Okay. You, again, second person. We know who that is. You know, second person is the Gentiles. You, by nature, were a branch cut from a wild olive tree. All right. So by nature. Let's see how that's read by the NIV. After all, you were cut out an olive tree that is wild by nature, and contrary to nature, were grafted in a cultivated olive tree. How much more readily will these, the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive trees? Okay. For if you were cut from what is by nature a wild, so okay, so you see, nature. All right. So if God was willing to do something contrary to nature by grafting you into his cultivated tree, he would be far more eager to graft the original branches back into the tree where they belong. You don't belong here, Phil. You don't belong here. They do. So basically God is going out of his way to get the Gentiles in. Like they say, he's going against nature to bring the Gentiles in. So that, that's an inconvenience. But for him to graft back what belongs there is convenient. It's not a big deal. So that's the message for the Gentiles. Like, yo, don't. It's easier to graft them back in than you. Mm-hmm. Is what he's saying. So don't bring your high horse. Because like low key, he's kind of saying, I prefer to graft them over you. Like really low key, what he's saying is, I really prefer them over you. So don't get crazy. All right. So we're almost done. I want you to understand this mystery, dear brothers and sisters, so that you will not feel proud about yourselves. Some of the people of Israel have hard hearts, but this will last only until the full number of Gentiles comes to Christ. You see? So the full number of Gentiles. It wasn't everybody. God has a capacity of how many Gentiles are. Okay, he's not forcing them in. These guys believe already, right? Or they come into the belief of Christ. And once that capacity is filled, now the next chapter. This all they had to do. This all Riley had to do. This all Nathaniel had to do, and Captain. He went to bed at 7:30. I was hoping he slept. Because sometimes he go to bed early, he'll sleep to the morning. But sometimes he'll wake up around this time. All right. Okay. And so all Israel will be saved, as the scriptures say. The one who rescues will come from Jerusalem, and he will turn Israel away from ungodliness. So now, when they read this all Israel, they believe this is all of Israel. I believe this is all those who believe. They're called Israel collectively. And he would turn Israel away from ungodliness. So,
no, I agree.
So let's go further. Yeah, I gotta get one of these guys on here, man.
Telling you, gotta get some practice in.
Yeah, I'm working on one guy. He a little hesitant, a little coward.
Mm.
I want everybody but ISPK because the other ones who I really want, because they're the ones that are talking trash. They are the ones who we conversate with, converse with. Like, we don't really talk to ISPK like that on these topics. We talk to Sakarian, the Sons of Thunder, all the other clowns. Those be the guys who we talk to. You know, you use the DTX. You don't be on Cross the Line Radio arguing with them. You be talking to DTX and Rotten Zon. Those are the guys you talk to, the transgender Ryla. So these are the ones that can't escape this damnation. We got to start giving them a pass. And this is my covenant with them, that I will take away their sins. All right. So the them is the Israel collective. You know, we should use that term. It wants to say Gentile Israel. We should be Israel collective. What's that? They're gonna be mad as hell if we say Israel collective. I'm gonna start saying that. What do you mean by Israel collective? Yo, but some of the members in these camps, like, they don't need Bible lessons. Like, they need, seriously, I'm not joking. They got to learn how to read first, and then it steps, and then we could go over Bible. But you try to teach a guy who can't read the Bible, it's just stupid. So he can only just trust you because he's too embarrassed to expose he can't read. So he goes like, yeah, okay, true. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's what that's the church too. Like, some people just can't. Like, this should be like low key literacy test. Like, yeah, let me make sure you understand what I'm saying, or what you're reading, so you don't just believe me because I'm saying it and you're too embarrassed to expose that you can't read. Then we can't help you. Many of the people of Israel are now enemies of That's how the NIV read that. As far as the gospel is concerned, they are enemies for your sake. Okay, see, they are enemies. Again, we need to ask, who are the they there? Because many of the people of Israel are now enemies of the good news. Okay, as regard, they are enemies. See, it's not really clear. If I can't read, he said they are enemies. That they are unclear to who they are. The Jews. Okay, see, Amplified Bible. You did the Jews. This is how you teach. So when I say they and I say Jews, I won't just say believe me because I'm smart. I'm gonna go here. But yo, look how other translators are putting it down. They're saying Israel. Some of them. The people of Israel are treated, as God's enemies. Israel, Gentiles. The Jews are God's enemies. Yeah, God's word gonna have it right. The Jewish people. Now, I already proved that the Jews are in the context of all of Israel together. Okay, they are enemies. So again, we got it's not clear for some people. Some people, they'll go and run on a vagueness. Okay, they ain't specific, so I'm gonna act like. So I'm gonna play on that. Okay. So anyway, many of the people of Israel are now enemies of the good news, and this benefits you, Gentiles. Now let's see if you say Gentiles somewhere else. See, you don't say that anywhere else. That's why the NLT goes hard, man. And look, it says Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They don't say that anywhere else. It says forefathers, say patriarchs. It says account of the fathers. It says sake of the fathers. No, I don't want that. I want this. I want here. I want many of the people of Israel are now enemies of the good news, and this benefits you, Gentiles. Yet they are still the people who he loved because he chose them. He chose their ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's what I said a few moments ago. I just said Gentiles, like the way I interpreted Gentiles. Don't brag because he really low key want Israel back over you. I just said that, and we see right. It right here. So this is how I'm understanding as I read.
You got your screen
naturally, and I'm free. Yeah, you see it? It's sharing because I see it on my other screen.
Hold up. Oh, okay. I had to. You know how, like, when you pop it up on the computer, you got two separate windows for some reason.
Yeah, and look, by the way, I'm freestyling. This is no prayer. I'm reading this for the first time with these translations. I just had this epiphany to do it this way. Because I was just going to read GWT only. I said, you know what? Let me do it where I'm not hiding anything. Like, this is what they won't do. They won't read like this. For God's gifts and his call can never be withdrawn. All right. So we don't need translations for that. Next one. So we got 7 more verses. Maybe eight more verses. Excuse me. Can you move out the way?
As ye in times past have not believed God.
That really bothers me. Okay.
Mercy to their unbelief.
Once you Gentiles were rebels. Okay, so now look, they don't say Gentiles anywhere else. It says you. So that's why like they play on that.
Yeah.
But the Bible the Bible like the Hebrew ironic Israelites, like this is their death sentence. They chose the NLT. They chose this one. And this is making it clear. Once you Gentiles were rebels against God, but when the people of Israel rebelled against him, God was merciful to you instead. He chose you over them. So you being against me, that's expected. But they being against me, that hurts. So I'm gonna make them jealous and choose you. And this is the parable that Grla Hebrew read about the guy dying, coming back, and other son who didn't leave was mad. This is that right there. Hey, the Gentiles were never with you. So why they get to roll with you and you chose them over us when we fell off? Okay, so now they are rebels and God's mercy has come to you, Gentiles. So and the blind collectively. So now they are the rebels. It was you first, Gentiles. You were the rebels. Now Israel's the rebels. Some of Israel the rebels. And look, I broke down. I'll break it down again after I'm finished 36. I'm gonna go back and show you something that you probably know, but I'm gonna go over it again because you didn't hear it. And God's mercy has come to you, Gentiles, so that the rebels, the Israelite rebels, too, will share in God's mercy. That's funny saying rebels because I was wondering why the Comforter was calling GMS the rebels, and now I see why. They be having.
That's funny.
Yeah, they be having some names for each other. They'd be hilarious. Yeah.
Check out verse. Are you on 31 or 30 still?
Israelite rebels. Come on, get down. I'm past that. I just read that one about the rebels.
Okay.
I'm on 32. I gotta go. I'm almost done. For God has in prison, because I'm doing the context. I don't want to do what they do. I don't read something and go too long. Let's just get it done. For God has imprisoned everyone in disobedience, so he could have mercy on everyone. So you see, everybody, he's not a respecter of person. He's going to imprison anyone who disobedient to him, okay? Or just, to him. All right, so now let's go. So we're almost done. We're almost done. Be patient. We're almost done. Now, this breakdown should have like 1,000 views and a couple hours. Because I mean, like, how great are God's riches and wisdom and knowledge? How impossible is it for us to understand his decision and his ways? Somehow one West understands his decision and ways. Somehow they know why God won't do something like a virgin birth. Somehow they know God won't do that. Man, yeah. It was impossible to know his decision and ways, but somehow you guys know it. I'm telling you, your illicit.
Can you hear that?
When I was reading illicit, like miracles to show how like God was with him. he was rubbing it in.
I'm biased. Can you hear that background TV?
Hear what?
Okay,
I didn't hear anything.
All right. You said my other mic was better?
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough. That Ryan Reynolds? Bias drop off.
Yeah, we'll try it. It's in real time. You want that straight from the Dallas stuff. Move, get out the way. Get out the okay, we go. God damn. All right, here we go. One West. For who can know the Lord's thoughts? Who knows enough to give him advice? One West, because they say Christ ain't the Son of God. He's a regular man like everybody else. He ain't special. When Captain said that, no wonder that video is on private. when he said that, and pretty much that's all there. Yo, all of you guys, even me, just ask them what is more special about Christ than anybody else. No, get more specific. Just say, is Christ like everybody else? Like every other prophet, he lived, breathed, like he ain't no different than us. They're gonna say, yeah. You know, he's like Samson. He died. Like they think of Christ like Samson. I'm trying to tell you, man, and that's deep.
Hey, yo, you ever read
Samson,
Young's
like
literal
else.
translation?
Nobody believes that. I think of Samson as people just God was working with the spirit, and once the spirit was taken away from him, he died.
Hey, I'm biased.
And that's exactly how he's like Samson mixed with Moses and David.
Hey, this man going in and out for me. You thirsty, Violet? Yeah, I knew he dropped off. I was like, what is going on? Oh, there he go.
Yeah. All right. So did you hear what I said about how they really view Christ? Did you hear that part?
It was going in and out. I was gonna say if you wanted me to share screen, yeah,
well, it wouldn't
I
matter.
pull up.
But it wouldn't matter though, because if my internet goes out, I won't be able to see yours either or hear you either.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what I was saying was just ask a one Western Israelite. Just ask them, hey, Jesus Christ was really no different than Moses and King David. Like he lived, breathed, was born like them. He just had a different assignment. They're going to say yes. They teach Christ is like Samson. Like the spirit was with him, helped him out on his journey, and then left. And he died. Like that's how they teach about Christ. They teach Christ was basically a man like everybody else, born of man and woman, and he just had an assignment mixed with King David, Moses, and Samson. That's it. They don't teach Christ was like really divinely different than everybody else. They teach. I want y'all to register that in your head. They teach that Jesus Christ was no different than Samson or Moses or King David. God was working with him, gave him a good assignment, and then that's it. And this is why, if you think about it, just think about it. Think about their arguments. Their arguments are Jewish by nature. The Jewish, collectively, Jewish people do not believe that, I'm about to say Allah. Jewish people do not believe that God, the Most High, has a son, okay, that died for our sins. They don't believe that. The Jewish people don't believe there's a Christian church. So now let's go to Romans 11. They don't believe there's a Christian church where outside of Israel, heathens and Gentiles were added to the Israel of God. Right, Meech?
Nope. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they don't believe
so
that.
If you think about One West arguments, all of them so far are pretty much the Jewish stance. So, and we're talking about the Jewish people who they call the synagogue of Satan. They borrow their whole doctrine and steal it, and cherry pick their argument, and then act like it's their argument.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I had to ask, can you hear me? Because sometimes I disconnect and I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm almost done.
Oh yeah, what was that thing you wanted to show me? You gonna do it after?
Wait. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna finish when I'm done. I got 2 verses. I don't want to. I want the audience to know exactly what the verses say. I don't want to do what they're doing, not reading the Bible in full context and then breaking down whatever they got or highlighting what they got to highlight.
Hey,
that's what they're doing. They got something to highlight.
Verse 35
So-
cuts prosperity doctrine when they say, if you give to God, he'll give you back 100-fold.
All right, so let me read it. So it says, and who has given him so much that he needs to pay it back? Okay. It's funny because when I was watching Grla Hebrew, and after I play this video and finish it, he says something that's really, really dangerous.
What do you say?
About mankind, period. Like it just like you'll see it's a tactic. It's a tactic to make Sakari members be content with being poor while he be rich from their money. When he said that, it reminded me of like pretty much every religious cult. I'm like, damn, that's something Elijah Muhammad would say. That's something, York would say, and everybody else. All right, so this is the last verse. For everything comes from him and exists by his power and is intended for his glory. All glory to him forever. Amen. So now I've read the entire book of Romans 11 in context, right? So now when Grla Hebrew goes to break this stuff down, we can laugh if it doesn't fit with the context. So let me just back up and show Meets this. In fact, I ain't got to do that. I just go here. Oh, shit, damn. I just go here. No, here. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah,
so
I'm
let me.
I'm gonna hop off real quick, and I'll probably listen in. So I gotta run to the store and get my day going. I got up late.
Yeah, well, actually, hey, peace, say Jones. So actually, I'm just going to go right into the video. Okay, so I read Romans 11 in context. That's something no one Western camp would do. They like to read every book with Romans 11, and when they finally read it, they read one verse and then do a 30-minute lecture or each verse by itself. I'm like, dude, just read it in context and then come back and then do that. That makes the most sense. So now people are not lost on the story.
Right.
All right. So now I'm ready to play the video. That was up. It was up. Now it's not.
Oh, you was gonna show me the video? I thought you said you had something to show me that I might already know.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Okay.
all right. So my screen's not sharing it. All right. So let me show you this then real quick. This is an easy breakdown. Once I seen it, the screen sharing ended unexpectedly. Okay. Screen share, start. Okay. So it's Romans 11. Right over here. So right here, Paul says, I say then, has God cast away his people? God forbid, for I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So he did. So now the true context of this, because we heard the one Westerners, and we're going to hear them again. But I just want to make sure we get this. So Paul is saying God did not cast away his people, right? So now you're going to think, oh, all of Israel is still in good favor with God. That's not the context Paul is using this. Watch this. He said, God hath not cast away his people. See, we're still there, which he foreknew. Whoa, he not what the scriptures said of Elijah, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. So now, look what Elijah's thought process was. So to understand what Paul is saying, you got to think back what Elijah was going through. Elijah felt like all the prophets were dead, and he's the last prophet alive. That's what he thought, right? What did the Most High say? The Most High said, okay, so God has to which follow that way. So Elijah, how you make it? So Elijah, so we're going to read it. So the Lord,
the answer of God, yeah.
So look at this, verse 3. He said, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down thine altars, and I'm left alone, and they seek my life. So Elijah thought all the prophets were dead, and he's the last one alive. And he's the last one to kill. Look at the Most High. He said, but what says the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men. Okay, watch this. So these are 7,000 men that Elijah was unaware of. Like they're in like sworn secrecy, obviously. He didn't know about these guys because he wouldn't have said that comment. Who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. So these are 7,000 men that Elijah Muhammad, that Elijah the prophet was not privy to. He didn't know about these guys. That's why he made that foolish comment. Watch this. Look at Paul. He said, even though at Paul's present time, also there's a remnant according to the election of grace. Let's stop there. Let's go back to verse 1. Let's go back to verse 1. So when Paul says, had God cast his people, God forbid, he's not speaking about those broken branches. Because if you look at the grand scheme of Israel, you will believe that they're basically done. Like God just moved on to Gentiles. But Paul is saying, no, just like in Elijah times, there are Israelites that you don't know of, because Israel collectively disobeyed God where he's about to cut them all off. And Apostle Paul said, no, just like how you thought all the prophets were dead, it's the same way you thinking all the Israelites are dead, meaning that they are dead to God. But he's saying no. He's saying no.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when he says I'm left alone, he was speaking about you remember that time right before, I don't know if you read the full story of Elijah, but right before instance of you remember right before the instance of Mount Carmel?
Go ahead. I'll let you know.
Where he goes up with the priest of Baal, he gives that challenge. He says, okay,
about the bull, whatever. Yeah.
Right. And I think the priest of Baal showed up, the priest of Grove didn't, or Ashtaroth, whatever. But right before that, nobody in Israel stood with him. So he's not necessarily speaking about the prophets. He's speaking about just people in Israel. And that's why you got to see it says he prophesied against Israel, saying Israel has killed the prophets. They have digged down thine altars, and I am left alone. So right. So you're right when Paul is speaking about God's people here, he's not speaking about all of Israel. He's talking about the remnants, which he foreknew, the elect. But keep in mind, he's saying that these people you don't know about. Like I know about these people because remember, he's saying the context is they didn't all bow down to Baal. So basically, Paul is saying not all of Israel are cursed and can't get right. There's a lot of them, or remnant of them, which is a lot. 7,000, that's a lot. It's not nowhere near the number of Israel, but it's a lot. Right, like 2%.
He's saying, he's saying there's let's say 7,000. There's 7,000 Israelites you don't know about because Israel's so horrible and wicked. It's easy to believe they're all done. But he's saying because we read about those people and we know they're famous, they're popular or renowned. But he's saying the ones who actually follow God's law, you don't hear about them because they don't have any controversy around them. They're not challenging, killing, setting people up. So you don't know about them, but they are definitely reserved. And these people are separate from those Israelites you see doing wicked stuff. So one West would say, Casper's people, God forbid, and they believe they believe they're part of this people right here. They're not. These people right here are the 7,000 or more or less that's reserved that God knows about, that has not bowed down to these idols and blah 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 blah. And that's the context here.
Right.
This is not inclusive to wicked Israel. This is exclusive to wicked Israel. This is inclusive to only those that believe in God. And that's why you read all the way down. The context was disbelievers and believers all the way down.
Right.
So my thing is, I don't know why people struggle with this, especially with Israelites. Like this is a new direction for me. As I'm reading it, it's just so easy. I'm like, yo, it's easier than the virgin birth. Like, this is so easy. I don't. But again, I'm saying that on paper. We'll see when I get one of these guys on the field, because it might change. But until I get somebody on this live to prove me wrong, I'm from One Westerners. To prove me wrong, it just feel like this is going to be a walk in the park. I could be wrong, but I guess we'll wait and see. But I just think this is so easy.
No, it is. And I got that one verse that what's his face mentioned, Zechariah 13:8, talks about the 2/3 of Jacob that'll be destroyed. I started writing down questions. So the first question is with verse 7, but this one, it says, Zechariah 13:8, if 2/3 of Jacob are cut off and Israel is ultimately comprised of 3/3, then who is the other 2/3 that Paul refers to when he says all Israel shall be saved? I think that's going to be a good question.
Okay. So the one guy I had hopes for, he's dodging a little bit. All right, so I'm going to move on from him and solicit another brother.
Yeah, I'm about to get a new camera too. Bruh, I'm telling you, bro, TikTok shop been taking over my life lately. So bad. They got so much cheap stuff. I got like a 4K mic for like $20.
Yeah, just as long as you're not believing the stories on there, like I told you before, these guys be lying. Israelites.
Oh yeah.
But my man showed, I forgot what you showed, but dude, TikTok, I mean, in the future it will be, but right now, like how Facebook and even YouTube, it evolved to something other than was its inception had it designed it for. I'm sure TikTok would change later, but right now, TikTok is not for good sources.
Bruh, it's so funny because when they advertise stuff, they be like, they'll have like it'll be like a $50 mic. They'll be like, this mic was $500, but on the TikTok shop, it's $20. Like, bro, I just be like, whatever. Let me just click on it. Let me see what the price is. Yeah, it'd be funny. Now they got some good stuff on there. If you want to get like some like a cheap mic or whatever, like they got some good stuff on there. And I think this little thing that I got,
I had a great mic. You know what happened to it?
What?
My son broke it.
Oh yeah, the Yeti.
Yeah.
Dang. That's tough. Just look straight. Shoot, bro. I'm gonna listen in, bro. I gotta run up to this store. So I'm gonna listen in and see what video you playing.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to right now. I'm just finished with the Grla Hebrew video. His dialogue. I mean, their little breakdown. And right now, I'm trying to sneak somebody on.
Hey, I got.
Well, they probably won't be on.
I got. That's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna play that for my daughter tonight so she can go to sleep. I just thought about that. The Grla Hebrew. Yeah. Dude, that's so funny, bro. I was almost knocked out at work. I had to start doing push-ups to wake up.
They gonna play it. Yeah, I guarantee you she's knocked out because my son went to bed and I went to bed right after him. Yeah, I mean, like right after him.
It's funny.
Yeah. that Grla Hebrew. I'm about to play now. Everybody get your coffee.
Yeah, nah, for real.
Because this is not something that's going to energize you. All right.
Nope. But all right, bro.
I mean,
I'll catch you on YouTube.
all right. All right.
Peace.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing, man. This is how you don't give presentations. All right. So let me go ahead. And like I said, in the background, I'm gonna try to get. I highly doubt Spot Hop on tonight, so I'm not gonna chase him. But I'm still gonna work on somebody for possibly this weekend. Okay. So here we go. So now we know Romans 11 in context. Now let's get your popcorn and soda and laugh.
Tree.
Thou bearest not the root, but the tree, right? Meaning you're being disrespectful when you boast against the branches, right? So hold on, Salakia. I want to read back over 17 again. Read 17 again.
And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree,
A wild olive tree. So this is talking about an olive tree and a wild olive tree. So it's talking about the same type of plant that comes from the same roots, the same seed. It's the same thing. One is just wild and one is not wild, right? This also destroys the concept that this is talking about a group of people who aren't Israelites. Because if they weren't Israelites, it wouldn't be an olive tree still, right?
Yeah,
because we're talking about
absolutely the stupidest sense ever. Yeah, we just read different. We just read totally different. Oh my God. Wild means that it's not tamed. There's no discipline. There's no laws.
seed.
Oh, seed.
Right? It would be a
Seed.
different type. Because if they weren't Israelites, it wouldn't be an olive tree still, right? Because we're talking about seed, right? It would be a different type of plant.
yeah, these guys. That's why you read it in Romans 11. It said, "Who knows his thoughts? Who could give him advice?" They're doing it right now. They're giving God advice. God, listen. I know you said that the Gentiles were the wild olive tree, but we're trying to tell you that they're not different. The trees are the same. Okay, and the seed. We didn't read seed one time in Romans 11, but he's introducing the seed.
But as we see, you don't sow a vineyard with multiple types of plants and seeds. Only one.
So they're going to tell God how to plant. A God who's since his beginning to mankind. I'm going to say this. God, since his introduction to mankind, has always been miraculous. His introduction was miraculous. And they're making him a common man. Nah, see, that can't happen because this way it should go. Yeah, that's a human perspective. But we're talking about your spiritual father. Like everything about him nothing about him is normal or natural. Everything about him is unnatural. But you're gonna confine him to what humans are limited to. These guys are hilarious and they're blasphemous for anybody who sincerely believes in the book.
I'm saying this is the same seed. One is just wild. It's not a different type of plant. That would make it a different nation. It's not a different type of plant. It's the same plant, but it's a wild plant. And that's our people out in this world. And that was us before we came into this truth. We were that wild olive tree. We were an unkempt, undisciplined, right?
No. You guys were chosen by God and you were given the laws of God. You were disciplined. You broke the laws and became rebellious. You were a rebellious tree, but you were not wild by nature. And that's hilarious how, yeah, you would think you don't want to be the wild olive tree. You want to be the you want to be, you would think you would want your origins to be part of the natural tree. Because we just read that the wild olive tree is not by nature God's first choice. It was a natural, but they want to be now that's something that Jewish people won't take that position. Jewish people might say, hey man, all that's garbage, ain't no Gentiles coming in, but they ain't gonna voluntarily take the wild olive tree position. The people what they call fake Jews, they ain't going that far. But these fake Jews, they go that far.
Uncivilized tree. We come into this truth. We're now grafted back into that kept tree of the Most High.
That makes no sense.
Right? Go ahead.
That makes no sense.
It says, boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, Thou bearest not the root, but the root thee.
What was that?
18.
Hold that. Romans 4 and 13.
Oh,
Right? Thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. So
wait. Now I didn't leave this chapter one time. I read it every verse, in order, all the way to verse 36. These guys are reading Romans 11, and then hold that. I'm gonna go to Romans 4 and 37. Like what? All right, let's hear them
again. When it says boast not against the branches, against the other Israelites, right? We don't boast against our brothers, even if they are not in the truth, because we are all the chosen people of God. We are all looking for mercy and forgiveness. So we don't boast against the branches. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Meaning, we're the branches that are descended from this root. Who is the root? Abraham is the root. We don't bear Abraham. Abraham bears us. We're saved predicated upon a promise that the Most High gave to Abraham through his faith and through his dedication and keeping of commandments. He's bearing us. So we have no right to boast against the other branches, the other descendants of Abraham, because we're all getting in off the promise to our great-great-grandfather. That's what that means. Read that, and this is going to prove it. Earlier in this same epistle, go ahead.
Romans 4 and 13. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to this right here for 13 was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith.
It was through the righteousness of faith. He was the Abraham's seed would be the heir to the world. That's how we're born. We're born up by that promise that was given to Abraham through faith. So we can't boast against our brothers. Because
your brothers are the Gentiles. Okay, now you see how I read this? Very straightforward, emphasize certain words and very clear, show different translation, straight transparent, right? And it was clear. Look how difficult he's making and confusing he's making.
I don't know if and when that brother's ever going to come into this truth, and if and when your ass is going to fall the hell out of it. So you can't boast against him. Because we're all banking in on this off of the inheritance that come from our grandpa Abraham. All of us. That's it. Right? Back to 18. It's like we good again. 18. 19 now.
Thou will say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off.
Say what?
Because of unbelief, they were broken off.
So because of unbelief, these branches get broken off.
But who were the branches that was broken off? Was that Southern Israel, Northern Israel, or Israel collectively? That's the question that needs to be asked. Let's see if he tells you which one it was.
Going back to the Jews,
or is he going to be vague?
Jews of Jewry at that time.
Be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off.
Say what?
Because of unbelief, they were broken off.
All right, okay. So now I think he's about to give a definitive answer here, and I'm ready to write this down. So before he starts, I want to document where I'm at. Give me a second. Before he even start, let me, so I ain't gonna go backwards. Before he even start, let me get my notepad. Before you even start lying, let me get my notepad. All right, where I put this thing? Oh shit! I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. I keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. I just tie this shit up. I don't know why I'm buying the chips, man. Well, I got the sunflower seeds. Okay. So I want to get ready and just document this or timestamp where I'm at, because I believe he's going to say something, and I don't want to have to rewind it to find out the timestamp. Or I can just do it now. Okay. So it's better to be prepared. So we're at 142.37. Okay, go ahead.
So because of unbelief, these branches get broken off, going back to the Jews of Jewry at that time. Because of their unbelief in Hamashiach, they get broken off, and that opens up the door for room for the Israelites that had been scattered in the Greco-Roman world.
Got it. Okay, so he believes the Jews that was broken off were the Southern Israelites. Oh my God, I cannot believe he took that position. That is wild. Oh my God. Yeah, he will never talk to Dr. Michael Brown on this subject. He will not. Now I see. Okay. So he believed the broker branches are. So that's why I stopped it. I knew he was going to do something like that. I didn't think he'll say that though. Okay, it kind of makes sense why he thinks that, because he believes that the Gentiles are Southern. But yo, that is crazy though, yo. That is that's a crazy position to be in. Yo, this guy, he's dead.
And had assimilated into Greco-Roman culture, right? Go ahead.
That I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spare not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. So, okay.
Just like he cut off the Jews of Jewry, he'll cut off the Greco-Roman.
All right. Hold on. Yo, this guy is crazy, yo. I'm so happy he said that. Give me a second. Because what I did was I found a random scrap paper. I wrote down that. But now I see that he said something I didn't think he'll say. So I'm writing this down in my official notes now. So that's why I paused it. I got to write it down in my official notes. Romans 11. I got to write down the video. Crafted. And Grla. So that timestamp was 1 hour, 42:37. Okay, he said northern. No, he says southern Israel. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If southern Israel were broken off and northern Israel was scattered, who the hell? So who were the elect? So everybody were. So everybody was blinded, according to him. Southern Israel are the Gentiles. So this guy is wild, yo. Yeah, I could tell already. I don't mind. He wanted some money to debate me. I don't mind giving this guy money when I get it, because I'm going to have it soon. So I'm going to call his bluff. So I am going to have some money for this guy. But there's going to be some contingencies. There's going to be some contingencies. You ain't going to find any reason to hang up. Oh, so y'all jump at me and hang up. We ain't doing that. You ain't getting paid a goddamn thing. It's going to be for 2 hours. And since I'm paying you, I'm going to be interrogating you. I decide, I'm going to have 2 hours with you. I decide when we move on. Now, you don't have to answer if you don't want. I ain't going to force you to answer. You got the right to remain silent. It's like a real interrogation. But you got minimum. Only I can shorten the video. So it's 2 hours. I can make it 1 hour. I can make it 45 minutes. I can make it 30 minutes. Or I can make it an hour and a half. Or I can do the whole 2 hours. You are with me for I'm paying for 2 hours. Okay? I asked the question since I'm paying you. And he wants some hundreds. He wants hundreds, plural. I'm paying that much money. Ain't no debate. This interrogation, like how Senator does, and I'm interrogating you. Okay, you ain't gonna be talking, and when I say stop, you stop. But I'm going to allow you to explain. So we got 2 hours, and you have a maximum of 2 minutes to answer any question I ask, and only I can move on, or I can extend you more times for the answer. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have this out. Yeah, because I know how these guys go. They're gonna try to run. Yo, pay me. No. Okay, so he said that the Southern Israelites are the broken. That's why I said Meach said Northern. I said no. Don't give them a position. He keep making that mistake. Do not just ask them. Because Meach said Northern. Grla Hebrew, their leader, says Southern are broken branches. That's why I keep saying, Meach, stop doing that. That's a bad tactic in debate. Stop giving people their arguments. Ask them for it and hold them to it. That's important to do that. I know it's a bad habit that you do, but you got to stop, because all you're gonna find yourself in by doing that is arguing, and you won't be arguing the topic. You just be arguing the position you gave the straw man. Give me a second.
Brothers that came back to their nationality and repented, you can still get cut off too. It doesn't matter. We see this every day. If you've been in this truth, then you've seen this happen, right? You've seen brothers come into this truth and leave the truth, right? Go ahead.
It says,
and that's why we have to be humble about the fact that we even were given the knowledge of this truth. We're not any better than the next brother who is without this knowledge. We're just blessed that we were called. But even us being called does not guarantee us a spot on the chariot, right? Go ahead.
behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of them, the severity of God on them which fell, severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness. Otherwise, thou also shalt be cut off.
If we don't continue in his goodness and walking the upright walk of keeping the commandments and faith, we'll be cut off.
Wait. All right, so Grla Hebrew, he believes that he's talking to, now he keeps saying we'd be cut off, but Grla Hebrew believes that God is talking to the Gentiles in his mind are northern Gentiles. Or the northern Israelites. Okay, let me say that over. So Grla Hebrew believes that the second person pronoun you are the northern Israelites.
Just like the ones previously got cut off, which led us to even be in this position now. 23.
And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again.
And even the brothers that get pushed off can still come.
All right, this ain't gonna make any sense now, because now he's acting like the Jews have more disbelief than the northern Israelites. That's wild, because I could have sworn in the same breath they said that the Jews believed and the northern is okay. All right, now I'm getting confused. Okay. So I could have sworn that they taught that southern Israelites had more belief than northern Israel. But now he's positioning northern Israelites, the ones who got scattered, had more belief than southern Israelites who did get scattered. So, brother, why did they get scattered again? they didn't get scattered because of unbelief. But southern Israel didn't get scattered, right? Because of unbelief. So that means southern Israel had stronger belief than northern Israelites. But now you're saying southern Israelites are the unbelievers that's about to be pushed on your side, and you're about to replace. I guess it's like a new replacement theory.
Back in, right? Go ahead.
For thou wert cut off out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature.
Which is what?
Wild by nature.
The wild olive tree. It's wild by nature. It's unkempt. It's wild. It doesn't have anybody ruling over it. That's brothers and sisters in the world. Read.
And were grafted contrary to nature.
So they go, it's.
Yeah, I got email. I put in chat right now. This is my email. Anybody can email me. This is my email. I prefer that email. A lot of you guys are not on social media, so that's my email's in the chat. They're right there. Hunting Heresy Hunters. I like that name. All right. Yo, this guy with his imagination, it wasn't well thought out. It's almost like he's freestyling his they remind me of Elijah Muhammad, because don't forget, Elijah Muhammad only had a third grade education. So that's why he said some foolish things. This guy, the leader of Sakari, he admits he's a high school dropout. This is why he's saying foolish things.
Contrary to nature. See, it's a different, no, but it's still an olive tree. So why it's contrary to nature is it's being grafted into the kempt olive.
And email me, and bro, you're invited on. Email me. Let's chop it up. And you are welcome to join me on this Zoom live. I go live. I try almost every day, but because I got to, because at some point my time gonna be tied up. My free time will just be weekends like now. Yeah, but man, you're welcome to hop on. Let's email me. We chop it up. We can see what we have in common, and then what we agreed to, the doctrine. And then, man, you're welcome to hop on and let's have fun. You don't have to share your camera if you don't want to. You see me, you see the boxing gloves. So sometimes I show my face, but right now I need a haircut. And I don't value haircuts lately. I'm like these guys, but I don't believe like I can't cut my hair or get a shape up. I just been like really just time just been everything lately. And I ain't got time sitting on the damn chair for 30, 40 minutes. That haircut right now. Yeah, but yeah, man, hit me up. Let's chop it up. You're invited. You could click. I have a Zoom. They have a phone number. You could pick. You could click the link, cut your camera on, cut it off. It's up to you. Or you could just call in the number, because people call in too.
Olive tree, right? Before they get simple. Read.
Into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree?
See that? It's just talking about the brothers who were in Judea can come into this truth the same way the ones outside of it could.
All right. I'm trying to follow his logic with the Bible. So the natural, I'm being lost. Okay, so the natural olive tree, I guess what he's saying, wait a minute. Okay, this ain't making sense. Okay, if the branches that was on a natural olive tree are the southern kingdom, and they were broken off, because of disbelief. And then you got the northern kingdom were scattered because of unbelief. What's left on the olive tree? Everybody's off. I'm just confused. Like, they just confused. Like, this is not well thought out at all. Like, their hatred against other people blinded them of the sense of the lack thereof sense that they're making right now. Their hatred literally blinded them.
Right. Go ahead.
For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits. That blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in.
And this is one of the key verses to understand this. So she says, blindness in part has happened to Israel.
I didn't do this. When I read Romans 11, I just read Romans 11. I didn't cross references. I didn't need to. I just showed you clearly that God is speaking to Israel as a collective. And when he says Gentiles, he's talking to a different nation outside of Israel altogether, which are Gentiles, heathens. It could be, it is specified. It could be Egyptians, Greek, Babylonian, Philistines, whoever, Ethiopian. Is everybody who's a non-Israelite, okay, or non-stock of David. Not even that. Non-stock of Jacob. No, not even that. Non-stock of, can you say Isaac? No. I guess we gotta say Jacob. The non-stock of Jacob, all right? Non-stock of Jacob.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. So we're going to go to Genesis 4:48 and 19. And let's read that.
And
why are we going to the first book of the Bible to read about something 2,000? No. This is 4,000 years. Is it older than that? It is 60. This is like 4,000 years after words. Maybe older. What are we doing?
Refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater.
I feel like I'm having a great Saturday morning. What y'all think? Let me know, man. Check up on me. Check tomorrow morning, or you probably won't hear from me till like later on Saturday. But ask me how was my Saturday morning. Because I feel like I'm gonna have a great, extraordinary Saturday morning. So you guys, when I go live tomorrow, and I will, around this time, ask me how great my Saturday morning was. Because I feel like it might be my greatest Saturday morning ever.
Who's the younger brother? Ephraim. Go ahead.
And his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Shall become a multitude of nations, right? Well, as we see here in 25, it says,
now I never heard of Brooklyn St. Michael. Wait. Let me give you a mod, because you can post a link, and if you want to, let me mod up Say Jones as well. So I gave you a ranch where the guy Brooklyn St. Michael. Now you can post a link of something about him, and I'll read it. Share it for
the fullness of the Gentiles become in. It says multitude of nations. Let's take a look at this word for multitude in the Hebrew. Strong's.
These guys make this too deep. We don't got to read the definition of multitude in the Hebrew or the Greek. It's not that serious, man.
H 4393, right? Mala'ah, and it reads fullness. And then it says a multitude of nations, or a fullness of nations. Of course, what is the word nation? Gawaya, which means nation, people, isles. So, gender nation, Gawaya, which means.
Okay, he's slick. Of descendants of Abraham. So you see how, look how fast he ran past the descendants of Israel, of Abraham. And it says Israel. Now it says usually of non-Hebrew people, but exceptionally descendants of Abraham and exceptionally of Israel, right? descendants of Jacob. But look how he skipped past all that and just read Gentile.
Nation, people. And then it says
Okay.
a multitude of
So he's going to say nation, people, but avoid Abraham and Israel and go down. This guy's hilarious.
nations, or a fullness of nations, of course.
Wait,
What is the word? And it reads fullness. Fullness. And then it says a multitude of nations, or a fullness of nations, of course. What is the word nation? And it says multitude of nations.
I want y'all to see how he ran past where it says of Abraham and Israel.
Let's take a look at this word for multitude. As we see here in 25, it says, until the fullness of the Gentiles become in. It says multitude.
His seed shall become a.
In the Hebrew, Strong's H 4393, right? Mala'ah. And it reads fullness.
So now I'm going to slow it down so y'all can see that he quickly sped past Abraham and Israel.
Fullness. And then it says a multitude of nations, or a fullness of nations, of course.
That's still too fast. That boy going.
What is the word nation? Gawaya, which means nation, people,
Abraham, Israel.
right? Or Gentiles.
This guy is extremely deceptive. But what about Abraham and Israel?
So Jacob just prophesied to Joseph that Ephraim would become a multitude of nations. How does Ephraim become a multitude of nations? Of course, Ephraim being the head.
I seen this brother before. This brother, Brooklyn St. Michael. I'm not aware of his works, but his face, I definitely seen him before.
Of the northern kingdom, symbolizing the northern kingdom. So what Paul is saying here in Romans 9 and 25 is, let's read 25 again.
It says, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits.
Read on.
That blindness in part has happened to Israel.
Has happened, and he already spoke previously about that blindness that David prayed for. That this blindness has happened in part in Israel. Read.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles become in.
Now again, Romans 8 and 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, to them that are called according to his purpose, right? So if we go here, all of this, we have to keep in mind that all of this is for our greater good. All these things that happen. So what happened is blindness happens to Israel, to the Jews of Jewry or Judea, the southern kingdom. This opens the door for the Hellenized brothers, the brothers who have assimilated into Greek culture, right?
So according to him, that's northern Israel. When I begged that all of Israel was Helen, I'm not saying all of Israel, I don't mean every last person, but I mean the northern, some of the northern and southern Israelites were Hellenized, not just the northern. All right.
But a greater door has to be open, right? Because outside of brothers who have assimilated into Greek culture, which are Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you also have Northern Kingdom who are on the whole other side of the earth at this point, and they need to be saved too, which goes back to Caiaphas' prophecy. And he knew that crucifying Yahushua was going to open the door for all of this. So this blindness has to happen.
If you had hand near Hassad, the right side of Hassad, that's Grla Hebrew's hand. Like they're in the same room. They're actually next to each other. Like they can grab each other's shoulders. So this is like kind of odd. It's like, yo, why don't I just, you know what I mean? Just whatever. It looks weird when they have separate screens. We see their hands in the other person's screen.
This blindness has to occur. This fall has to happen ultimately so there can be 12,000 of all the 12 tribes to rule the world with Yahushua. All of this has to happen.
He used to be an Israelite. Okay. And then he got a video while he left. You know what? Because I see this channel. I'm going to look at some of his videos, especially while I left. But I could have sworn. He looks very familiar. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at his videos. Know what I'm doing? I'm going to check out some of his stuff. Find books, but you will find Jordans in black homes. Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at his titles of his shorts. Some of his titles I strongly stand with. You know, so some of his short titles sounds like things that I've been saying over here. Yeah, so good brother right here. Yeah, maybe we link up. He doesn't go live, which is okay. But yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch some of his videos tomorrow because a lot of times, like I'm the type of guy who gotta always listen to new information. So like when nobody's live and I can't find new videos, like I'll be like depressed, like damn. So I end up watching TV, which I don't like to do. So I'm gonna check out. Like I said, some of his titles are some things that I already said. So it looked like we kind of agree on a lot of things. So let's see.
For this reason, this is what this is about, right? This blindness happens so all of Israel can be unified. That's why it says to the fullness of the Gentiles come in, and Ephraim is the fullness of the Gentiles.
If this makes sense to somebody, it's because you are an illiterate. This does not make sense.
Which is the head of the northern kingdom, which have been alienated from us and brought to the whole other side of the earth. All of Israel can be unified. That's why it says to the fullness of the Gentiles come in, and Ephraim is the fullness of the Gentiles, which is the head of the northern kingdom, which have been alienated from us and brought to the whole other side of the earth. Right? Go ahead.
And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written.
And the purpose of the fullness of the Gentiles, which is Ephraim, is for all Israel, not just Judea. All Israel can be saved, not just the Jews. Not just the Jews of Judea and the assimilated Jews of the Greco-Roman world, the northern kingdom too. So the purpose of this grafting in parable is talking about all the Israelites from the four corners of the earth being reunited as one nation and being saved, and the falls that have to happen in order.
Grafted in? Wait, you just said earlier the grafted in. You just said the Gentiles were the northern Israelites. Now you're saying the Gentiles are everybody? No, brother, that's wrong. Now he's confusing me. Hold on. He's confusing me now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm confused. But I think he's saying because he believes the Gentiles are the northern kingdom. So that means the grafting in process is dealing with the Gentiles, and which in his mind are the northern Israelites. So, brother, that means that it's just talking about the northern Israelites being grafted in, or has been grafted in. Potentially, Paul was talking about the broken branches has a chance to be grafted in if they want to be by their belief system, right? They got to have strong faith in Christ. But right now, the Gentiles are grafted in. That's present. It's not futuristic. Futuristic are the broken branches. So I don't know how he says all of Israel can be grafted in, because if you're saying can, that's futuristic, then that doesn't make any sense, because the Gentiles are already grafted in, some of them, right? In his case, in his mind, which would be Northern Israel. So they're already grafted in. Like this, Paul is speaking in present tense. When he says Gentiles grafted in, that's present tense. It's not futuristic. So let's try to make sense of this mess.
Israel shall be saved, as it is written.
And the purpose of the fullness of the Gentiles, which is Ephraim, is for all Israel. Not
all right. So what you just said was, so I'm glad you said that, hunting heresy hunters. I'm glad you said that. So you said that you're not sure about all the videos, but you wanted to highlight the why he left. Okay, so I will definitely watch that either tonight or tomorrow, and maybe I'll share it when I stream tomorrow. So all right, so I got you. So basically, you want me to focus on why he left. I got it. Thank you for that clarification.
just Judea. All Israel can be saved, not just the Jews.
Israel shall be saved.
The fullness of the, this is what this is about, right? This blindness happens so all of Israel can be unified. That's why it says to the fullness of the Gentiles come in, and Ephraim is the fullness of the Gentiles, which is the head of the northern kingdom, which have been alienated from us and brought to the whole other side of the earth.
Right. So if they're the Gentiles, that means the fullness of the northern Israelites. Like, how are you combining all of Israel when you're distinguishing them in one being called Gentiles and one be broken off from the branches? I don't know how this applies to all now. Brother, if you're sticking with context and you believe the Gentiles are northern Israel, then what you just read can only be speaking about northern Israel, not all Israelites. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Trust me, it's coming.
All right.
Judgment day for you is coming. It's gonna be via me.
Go ahead.
And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written.
And the purpose of the fullness of the Gentiles, which is Ephraim, is for all Israel, not just Judea. All Israel can be saved, not just the Jews. Not just the Jews of Judea and the assimilated Jews of the Greco-Roman world, the northern kingdom too. So the purpose of this grafting in parable is talking about all the Israelites from the four corners of the earth being reunited as one nation and being saved, and the falls that have to happen in order for this reunification. Because if the Jews of Judea had kept it together this whole time, and
I'm so lost. I'm sorry. I gotta rewind it again. I'm trying to get it, but he's losing me. So I'm like feeling like I'm retarded. So let me go back. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys.
with Yahushua. All of this has to happen for this reason. This is what this is about, right? This blindness happens so all of Israel can be unified. That's why it says to the fullness of the Gentiles come in, and Ephraim is the fullness of the Gentiles, which is the head of the northern kingdom, which have been alienated from us and brought to the whole other side of the earth, right? Go ahead.
And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written.
And the purpose of the fullness of the Gentiles, which is Ephraim, is for all.
And Hassad is a good orator, you know, but he's not a good reader.
All Israel, not just Judea. All Israel can be saved, not just the Jews. Not just the Jews.
Let me back it up. He's not a good orator. I'm sorry. He's a good presenter. Like, he can present stuff very well. He's not a good orator, but he can present things very well. But he's a bad reader. Not that he can't read, like the energy is in there. Like how Nathaniel 7 got, this guy's reading with energy. His readers are not there. Even a car readers got the energy. Hassad is not a good reader, as he don't bring the energy.
Jews of Judea, and is Ephraim, is for all Israel, not just Judea. All Israel can be saved, not just the Jews. Not just the Jews of Judea and the assimilated Jews of the Greco-Roman world, the northern kingdom too. So the purpose of this grafting in parable is talking about all the Israelites from the four corners of the earth being reunited as one nation and being saved, and the falls that have to happen in order for this reunification. Because if the Jews of Judea had kept it together this whole time and not went off, guess what? The ones that got scattered going back to the time of Ezra, the ones that got scattered going back to the time of the Greco-Romans, and of course the northern kingdom that came to the other side of the world before any of that, none of these people get saved. Yeah. Without the Jews of Judea, who are the vanguards of our culture, fall. Without their fall, nobody else gets saved.
Yeah, this guy is hilarious. So I'm going to say collectively, collectively, northern and southern Israelites fell collectively. There's no distinguish where is one kingdom or the other. Collectively, they all fell. I mean, how do you read 28, Deuteronomy 28, and say they're cursed? We're all cursed. I mean, so again, he has to explain why. Okay, if he believed southern Israel fell, like he's calling Judah, then he got to explain why were the northern Israelites scattered. Because evidently they fell too. So that means there's no olive tree. Yo, this guy is hilarious. I'm gonna do him dirty.
So we have to understand all this that we went through this last 2,000 years is necessary.
Wow, but when somebody tell you they're a high school dropout and a felon, believe them and stop trusting them. They should have the. I'm not saying they can't be redeemed in society. I'm saying they got to prove themselves. That's why you should not be an ex-felon, a high school dropout, because you got to work hard to redeem yourself to be trustworthy. I'm sorry, but newsflash: the high school dropouts and the ex-felons are the people who scam and do the crime in your neighborhoods, percentage-wise. So they got the most to prove. It's like, no, bro, you need an honest track record. You need references. That's, you know, when you do references, they say, hey, not friends and family. So we don't want Sakari giving you credit. We want you out of Sakari. Matter of fact, out of One West. We want references out of One West, saying that you're doing better. You dig? But ex-cons and high school dropouts, they got the most to prove. We ain't just gonna believe you. Like, you got to show us that, especially a high school dropout, you got to show us you're competent and literate. You got to show some test scores from credible schools, and then if you're ex-felon too, now you got to show us a clean record. You dig? You got to show us like how you make your money. You know what I mean? This is not to prove. You want us to follow you.
So we can rule the kingdom of heaven forever. This is what Paul is saying here. He's not giving the promises God made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to every damn body on the earth. What he's saying is all this stuff had to happen so we can rule the world for eternity with Hamashiach Yahushua.
Wow, you talk about adding in scriptures? Wow, I didn't read that one time. When I read Romans 11 from verse 1 to 36, I didn't read that one. His conclusion at all. That's a shame.
Officer.
Yeah, it's simply because it goes back to ultimately the purpose of God, and he just used the fall of the Jews in Judea as the catalyst to reconcile all the Israelites back. That's simply what.
So y'all sticking with that fall. So y'all sticking with the Judea. It's funny because we can't read that because, you know, when they ask, like, so let's say if you hold the position that Luke chapter 3, verse 23 and up is Mary's genealogy through her father, they will say, brother, they don't say that. Read that. Like, they will hold you to the most strict burden of ever, which is book, chapter, and verse. Read what you said, verse, word for word, verbatim. But now these guys are able to get away with their private interpretation of Romans 11 and say, no. Read to me that the broken branches are Judah, because we just read Israel. Okay? And if you're, again, he might have a translation that does say Judah. Or no, he's not. No, he's not. He's not gonna have that. He's gonna have one that say Jews or Jewish. If you want to go different translations, but you have a problem. You're gonna have a problem there because then you're telling me that Israel and Jews are interchangeable. Then you're telling me Israel and Jews or Israel and Jews are interchangeable. All right, because it also say Israel. It calls Israel broken branches. Yeah, so brother, again, like when you're debating lightweights, they're not going to do all this. I'm a big dog in scholarship, in urban scholarship, not academia, right? I'm a big dog in urban scholarships. So, yeah, what you're saying is not going to fly because I have the questions, the right questions to ask you to make your answers and doctrine crumble. Especially, I say, when I ask that question, hold up, so the broken branches are southern Israel? And why were they broken off? Why were they broken off? Okay, they disbelieve wicked ways. All right. And the scattered Jews, the scattered Israelites are northern Israel, right? So the southern Israel are the branches that broke off. I want to know why they broke off. You're going to say disbelief, wicked ways. Okay. And you're saying the southern Israelites were scattered. Yeah. Okay. Why were they scattered? And you got to say the same answer because they're wicked ways and failure to, abide by God's law. It's like, so the northern Israelites and the southern Israelites both are broken off. So now we got a tree that don't produce fruit. And you know what Christ said about those trees? He made one wither away. So that's why this doctrine doesn't make any sense. And they avoid him specifically. Him specifically, not the other Sakari guys, but him specifically avoided me. Now, Riley got lucky with it because he caught me when I was like, and he still lost, but he caught me when I was like just learning this stuff. And I wasn't so like thoroughly polished. Now I am, especially on Virgil. And he knows not to have the second discussion. So he caught me slipping where I ain't know out of the Greek and all this type of stuff. But my boy Meach filled in that void and beat him up for me. So we still won. I beat him up too, but I wanted to do a better job because I didn't know Greek. I still won that, and I replayed it for you guys and very clear.
Insane.
Hold on, let me take a look at something. Let's go to let's read this. Give me Caiaphas, John 11:47.
Yeah,
right?
I have something after this.
Kind of hit it.
Kind of ties this whole thing together. So John chapter 11 verse 52. It said, verse 48, 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year.
Yeah, this is pretty long. This is longer than I thought. So this might possibly be my only video I play. I'm gonna try to sneak in Captain, but wow, this is pretty. We still got 20 more minutes. That's 10:40. Yeah, I ain't trying to be on here too late. I ain't trying to do the 1 o'clock stuff tonight. 12 o'clock might be my cutoff, but I might not want to do this till 12 o'clock. I might want to do this till 11 o'clock. I don't know, because I've been up late doing this stuff, and I had this like. I'm the type of person where if I'm up late, I still wake up early. So in case y'all didn't know, I don't stay. I'm not the guy who stays up to 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Therefore, I sleep to 10, 11 a.m. No, that's not me. If I go to bed late, I still wake up early. Like I could fall asleep at 5 a.m. and I'll wake up the latest like 9:15.
Unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people.
This is expedient for us. And now watch this. It's expedient for us. But he understands this audience that he's talking to. And you know what this audience that he's talking to, all they care about is? All they care about is Judea. If you're not checking in with Judea, if you're not on one accord with Judea, death to you, to hell with you. You're not even an Israelite. We don't care about you. That's how they felt. If you were them kids in Ezra that got cast off, F you.
I got no snacks. Dang. Like my sweet snack. I got nothing. I'm wilding. I need some snacks. I just ate the last of. Actually, there's nothing that. Yeah, I got nothing. I ate the last of. Oh, I got some more crackers. I just ate some crackers, some whole wheat premium. Those saltine crackers. I bought a whole wheat kind. I'm like, I got nothing. A little sweetness to them. Damn, that's wild.
Israelite that moves to another land and don't check in, you start missing holy days, F you, right? If we alienated you, if we kicked you out of here, because the Levites, when you look at the historical perspective, the Levites were excommunicating people from Israel left and right. To hell with you. We don't care about you. You're not an Israelite no more. That's how we looked at them. Caiaphas understands this. So he said, it's expedient for us. And they know, he knows the audience. When he says for us, he knows the audience says Judea, Jewry. It's expedient for Jewry, for the Judites, the Benjamites, and Levites that are in good standing with the vanguards of our culture, right? Nobody else. Go ahead.
Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people.
There's this guy that we read about in Isaiah 53. That's going to die for us. Go ahead.
And the whole nation perish not.
For the whole nation to perish not, right? But even now, the whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings. Not the Judites, Benjamites, and Levites that have assimilated into Greco-Roman culture. Just the ones that are in good standings. That's the nation of Jewry or Judea, the Jews. That's who that is.
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
And this he spake not of himself, but being
That's the nation of now. The whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings.
the whole nation perish
Wait, hold
not.
on, wait. So they don't perish. Wait. So there's a big issue here now. There's a big issue here now. Hold on. Let me use this battery right back. There's a big issue here. It's a big contradiction here by their own doctrine. Hold on. Okay, so I'm trying to make sense of his wicked doctrine. So now I understand why he needs. I understand why he needs the wild olive tree and the natural olive tree to be the same tree, to be the same olive tree. I thought about it. Okay, I get it. So I get it. Okay. See, you got to know their strongholds in order to know what to debunk. So he needs the olive tree and the olive tree to be the same tree. So what I got to do is I got to show and demonstrate that the wild olive tree and the olive tree are not the same tree. See, I got to know what they hold to. And that's what we're going to do. Because all this doesn't make sense if I just show how that tree is not one tree. They're separate trees.
The whole nation to perish not, right? But even now, the whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings. Not the Judites, Benjamites, and Levites that have assimilated into Greco-Roman culture.
Wait, you just said, wait, I'm confused.
Just the whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings.
All right, so let me document this.
Not
the whole nation perish not.
For the whole nation to perish not.
Let me write this down, because it's like he's switching his position now, which is crazy. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it, baby. I'm definitely gonna catch it. So 150. Let me just say 152. Come on, stupid pen. So one. Yo, why the pen is not? All right. These guys, these Sakura guys, they curse my pen. It won't write. 152. Okay.
Right? But even now, the whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings. Not the
Okay, so now, um, so now they're in good standings. All right, so now the house of Judah is in good standing. Now that they're not broken off. All right, so go on.
Judites, Benjamites, and Levites that have assimilated in the Greco-Roman culture.
The whole nation perish not.
For the whole nation to perish not, right? But even now, the whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings. Not the Judites, Benjamites, and Levites that have assimilated in the Greco-Roman culture.
Wait, so now the house of Israel has, wait, what? I thought the house of Israel only assimilated into Greco-Roman. Now you're saying the Jews did too?
Now, the whole nation is just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that are in good standings. Not the Judites, Benjamites, and Levites that have assimilated in the Greco-Roman culture. Just the ones that are in good standings. That's the nation of Jewry or Judea, the Jews.
Yo, I don't even know how to write that one down. That's so wild. Maybe he is the wild olive tree. Maybe he is part of the wild olive tree. I don't even know how to write that down. You know, I'm not gonna write that down. I don't even know how to write that down. But that just was that sounded crazy. You just said Northern Israel were the ones scattered. All right, whatever. So now Northern Israel scattered too. See, but then everything shatters now. Now, see, when he keeps talking, he just give me more questions.
That's who that is. Go ahead.
And this he spake not of himself, but being high priest
He speaks with the authority of being high priest. Go ahead.
that year he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation.
The Yahushua should do what?
Should die for that nation.
Die for that nation, the Jews of Judea. Read.
And not for that nation only.
But not just for Judea. He's prophesying that this is not just about the Jews.
You just said it was. You just said Judah represents the nation, not the ones who are scattered in Roman Greco areas.
Judites, Benjamites, and Levites in good standing. Read.
Right.
Nation, the Jews of Judea. Read.
And not for that nation only.
But not just for Judea. He's prophesying that this is not just about the Judites, Benjamites, and Levites in good standing. Read.
And not for that nation only, but also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
So he knew that all the Israelites, the ones in the Greco-Roman world, the ones in America, and any and everywhere else we would all be gathered together. He knew that through the sacrifice of Yahweh, Levites in good standing nation, the Jews of Judea, read.
And not for that nation only.
But not just for Judea. He's prophesying that this is not just about the Judites, Benjamites, and Levites in good standing. Read.
And not for that nation only, but also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
So he knew that all the Israelites, the ones in the Greco-Roman world.
So who were scattered? Oh, I just broke the damn pen. Are you serious? Am I that strong? I just broke my pen. And that was some wow. All right, let me get my more sturdy pen. That was wow. I'm saying, like, these guys cursed my pen, so I can't write stuff down. I'm like convinced now. My pen just broke in half. Are you serious? All right, whatever. Let me get my other pen. That was crazy. It's getting spooky in here all of a sudden. It's getting real spooky. Let me get my other pen. Give me a second. Don't forget to ask me tomorrow morning. Or don't forget to ask me tomorrow about my Saturday morning, how great it was. Because I got to feel this will be the best Saturday morning I ever had in my life. where? I got my other pen. See, that was wild. The pen just exploded. All right. Give me a second. Oh, fucking God. Second. Maybe I just tried. All right, cool. I was able to tackle that. All right, I'm back. I was able to tackle that. Got out the way. All right, let's go. Let's get back to this clown show.
The ones in America and any and everywhere else we would all be gathered together. He knew that through the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, this would have to happen. He foresee this through being studied in these scriptures, in the Torah, in the prophecies, the way he was as a high priest. He understood this very clearly, and nobody else did. So he had to step in with authority and make this plot and give a prophecy about how Yahweh Shai's death, through Yahweh Shai's death, with all this nation.
This is called Romans 11 graphic and breakdown. And it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. And you see, I did it probably in like 30 minutes or less. And I was very edifying to the point I didn't run around, and it made absolute sense. Whoever was here, whoever's present while I did that was clearly edified. If they didn't already know, or what I read.
Finally be reconciled that we've longed so greatly for all these years. Through Yahweh Shai's crucifixion, through the fall of Judea, through the scattering of the 12 tribes throughout the earth, this is how we're going to get.
Okay, wait. All right. So now, the fall of Judea. What the Yo, you can't make this up. Write it down. This pen gonna break too. This pen acting shaky. Well, it ain't writing. Okay, how are you gonna write? Fall of Judea. Hey, this guy cannot be serious. And this is wild. This guy said the fall of Judea and the scattered house of Israel.
our kingdom. Again, Romans 8:28, all things work together for the greater good of those that love the Most High, of those that were called. That's why I'm constantly going back there. That's why I said this is where that context starts in the spirit. Because Paul is just being elaborative on what is going to have to happen for all the 12 tribes to be saved.
I got a question. Is this y'all king? Is this y'all king right here? Wow.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'll make the point later.
You don't want to make your point now?
It's fine.
Okay.
Romans chapter 11, verse.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'll make the point later.
You don't want to make your point now?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's nice contention there.
Romans chapter 11, verse.
That's why I said this is where that context starts in the spirit. Because Paul is just being elaborative on what is going to have to happen for all the 12 tribes to be saved. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll make the point later.
You don't want to make your point now?
It's fine.
Okay.
Romans chapter 11, verse 20.
You couldn't see the writing on the wall. You couldn't see he's gonna leave, and they're in the same room, and he couldn't read this dude ain't messing with him like that. That's wild. He got a bad judgment of character. The dude on the right left this guy. How old was this lecture? 3 years ago? How old was this? 3 years ago. Like, dude, that's crazy. Like, dude, you can't read that he's gonna leave. Like I got friends where I see like we're like not talking as much, hanging out as much. Like you could feel it. You could see like, yeah, we're not as cool as we once were. So it's all good if things go, his way, my way. It's cool. We go our own way. Like you kind of live with that. So when it goes that way, it's no big deal. Like, but you couldn't see like I had a point. I ain't. You talk so much. I'm good. I ain't gonna bring my point out. You don't want to bring it out? Like, nah, dude. I'm good. You keep talking and you're always wrong, so I'm good.
That's why I said this is where that context starts in the spirit. Because Paul is just being elaborative on what is going to have to happen for all the 12 tribes to be saved. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll make the point later.
You don't want to make your point now?
It's fine.
Okay.
Romans chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved as it is written.
And the whole point of this, the whole point of the grafting in, and this brings it right home, is the whole point of this is all Israel shall be saved, not the world, not everybody, not all nations. It says that all Israel shall be saved.
That part he's right about, but the Israel in God's mind, well, let's say in Paul's mind, isn't all who claim they're Israel. This was those who believe and have faith in Christ. They're going to be grafted into the olive tree. They're going to be called Israel, which I explained already earlier. This got nothing to do with physical Israelites. This has everything to do with spiritual Israelites.
That's the point. That not just the Jews of Judea in good standing, but those scattered into the Greco-Roman world, those scattered into the lands of Moab and Ammon during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah.
So make it make sense. Your math ain't mathing. So the Most High are going to reward the Israelites who always disrespected him, chose other guys. So he's just going to bring them back in. So then, like, what was the penalties of not, what was the lesson learned or the penalty of not obeying him when he said, obey me? So it's like they called his bluff and it worked. Because he'll invite us back in. So, man, it's the hell with him. We're not going to worship him. Because he's going to invite us back in anyway. So they like, yo, if y'all worship the Most High, y'all stupid. Let's have fun in this world, and because we're going to make it anyway. So let's not miss out on our best life.
For the northern kingdom that sailed over to Arsareth, all shall be saved through this. That's the point. Go ahead.
Peace,
Acts 2:39. For the promise is unto you and to your children.
LCK. So apparently, Grla Hebrew believes that the branches that were broken off are the southern Israelites. And he believes the Gentiles who are being grafted in are the northern Israelites they were scattered, right? So he said, so now he then later said that southern Israel fell they fell. But then he also believed northern Israelites were scattered. So my question to him would be, you read Romans 11, why did southern Israel fall? And he would have to say their disobedience, their unbelief. And I would say, okay, so that's why southern Israel fell. Okay, so why did northern Israel get scattered? He got to say, because of their unbelief, their disobedience. I'm like, bro, so that means there are no more branches on the olive tree. Like, what's going on here? They both were casted away. So he believed Paul is talking to the southern Israelites in the second person. And he believed the Gentiles who are being spoken about in the third person are the northern Israelites. Okay? If that makes any sense at all. So that's what he believed. And I was going to say something else. Let me try to remember what I was going to say. So back up. So he believes that the southern Israelites are the broken branches. And he believes that northern Israelites are the scattered. So my question to him will be, why were the southern Israelites broken off? Disbelief, right? Then I'll say, well, why were the northern Israelites scattered? Disbelief. So who is part of the natural branch? I mean, like everything he's saying, it just provides more questions. Like, yo, wait a minute. So if one foot fell off and the other one were scattered, who's left on the tree? Like, there's no more branches. And like I said, we know what Christ said about a tree that doesn't produce fruit. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Like, it's like a wild olive tree. So then he says that the wild olive tree is the same tree as the natural olive tree. He's saying they're not two trees, it's one tree. Because whether it's wild or not, it's still an olive tree. That's what he said. His justification for saying that they're one tree is because it doesn't matter if it's wild or not. There's still both olive trees. And they're not a separate tree from each other. Like, one is not an apple tree.
And to all that are afar off.
The Israelites scattered abroad. So not just.
So I'm definitely going to end it on this one. I'm not going to play captains because this is lengthy, and I'm cutting in, and it's going to be like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Because Judea is like not just Judea. The same way the Judite in America
are off
through this. That's the point. Go ahead.
Acts 2:39. For the promise is unto you and to your children.
So now he won't read Romans 11 straight through and then break it down like I did. Tonight, I wrote it straight through, but I didn't go to any other verses. I just dealt with what I'm reading, and I expounded on what I'm reading. I didn't touch on any other verses. I didn't do what he's doing. I ain't touch on dictionaries, nothing. This guy, like these guys, they won't read Romans 11 straight through and then come back and break it down. They won't.
And to all that are afar off.
The Israelites scattered abroad. So not just because Judea is like not just Judea. The same way the Judite in America is just about black people. And then when they get specific, it's not even about you Caribbean niggas. It's not about Haitians and Jamaicans and West Africans. It's just about the American black. That's the mentality, the same mentality that the Jews of Judea had. So it's not far-fetched to even conceptualize that we had a similar mentality then that we do now, some of our people. It's about all 12 tribes. It's about blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and not just us. We also got brothers scattered throughout this whole earth. Even though the main stage is here, we're scattered throughout this whole earth. And all of us need that salvation. And all of us are eligible for that salvation. And 12,000 of each one of these 12 tribes will rule with Hamashiach Yahushua in that kingdom for a millennium. And ultimately, the whole nation will rule this earth for eternity. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. That's fine. Back to Romans.
Back to Romans.
Romans 11:27. For this is my covenant.
3:26. We didn't finish 26.
It says, all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
So how is this about anybody else? Because the deliverer, Hamashiach Yahushua, he is the Yahushua, he, the deliverer, shall come out of Zion and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob, shall make the Israelites stop sinning. Not nobody else. So what are they talking about? 27.
It says, for this is my covenant unto them.
It looks like to me, he didn't go over this with Hassad, and Hassad doesn't sound convinced. As I said, I don't think he's going to be your best reader. I don't think that was Hassad's conclusion on what Grla Hebrew is saying. And the fact that he's remaining quiet, he's co-signing it, and I think that's bothering him.
When I shall take away their sins.
Exactly. He's going to take away ungodliness from us. The new covenant. Oh, not nobody else. So what are they talking about? 27.
It says, for this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins.
Exactly. He's going to take away ungodliness from us. The new covenant. Oh, in Romans 9, what did he say about the covenants aside? According to the flesh, right? Oh, so how?
He think he dropped the bomb. He dropped the ball. He didn't drop a bomb. He dropped the ball.
Be honest with you, right?
Fumble. He fumbled the bag.
You know, I know we're just stupid niggers and stuff.
Yes,
I get it.
You said,
but what in the hell are y'all people talking about? Hassad, we don't know the Bible at all. We don't know what we're talking about. Not. We're deceived. We're blinded by our racism and hate, right? But we just read from Romans 8 all the way here into Romans 11. And I don't know where in the hell all nations are being saved.
You didn't read Romans 11 thoroughly, fully. Okay, you didn't. You're stopping and you're like really not reading it through like I did
here. Can somebody show me where everybody's being saved at here? It's very clear.
Yeah, when you know that Gentiles are non-Israelites. That's when you know people, and it's not everybody being saved. It's that everybody has a chance of salvation. Okay, everybody's not being saved, but everybody has a chance towards salvation if they just acknowledge the Most High and believe on Christ. It's real simple.
If we're racist, damn it, Paul was a racist.
That's a lie. That's on you.
And we are racist, and Paul was a racist. Go ahead.
It says, as concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes. But as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sakes. For the gifts.
No. So like you read that part again.
As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes.
So he's talking about the Israelites that are coming against the believers, the Jews that are coming against the believers. He said, concerning the gospel, they're enemies for your sakes. But read.
But as touching the election.
Because going back to the elect, Israel is the elect, right? As touching the election of God, read.
They're beloved for the Father's sake.
God still loves, even though they come against the gospel, the Most High still loves them, and ultimately we're all going to be saved. Go ahead.
For the gifts and calling of God are without repentance.
If God gave a gift of electing the Israelites, the Israelites will never not be the elect. So to say that there was something that happened, the Israelites did something that caused them to lose their election and it be given to everybody else, which is what Christianity is based off of, that the denial of Christ opened the door for all of the people to come in. Oh no, the gifts of God and calling of God are without repentance. He's already elected and called Israel exclusively. That will never change, according to this verse here. Verse 30.
For as ye in times past have not believed God, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief.
Exactly. You in times past have not believed God. Hold that, Jeremiah 2:21. You in times past have not believed God, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief.
Jeremiah 2:21. It says, yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
Because this is what you have to understand.
Wait, what passage?
Then art thou turned into Jeremiah 2:21.
Write that down. Write that down. Let me write this down. Remember, he said that the wild olive tree and the tamed wild tree were the same. That's what he said.
It says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?"
Because this is what you have to understand. It's the parable of this wild tree. That's that degenerate plant.
Oh.
It's prophesied that we be a degenerate
I
plant.
knew he was going to say that. That's why I said, he said that the wild olive tree and the olive tree that wasn't wild were the same. Now he's saying a vine is the same as the wild olive tree. This guy is crazy. So, an olive tree is the same as a vine. This guy's crazy.
Israel turned into a degenerate plant. How did Israel turn into a degenerate?
Okay, yeah, he's wild. But I'm gonna write it down. 1, 5, 9. Vine equals olive tree.
Plant, for in times past ye have not believed in God, yet now have obtained mercy. When we didn't believe in God, we're a degenerate plant, or we're a wild olive tree. When we're in the state of being wild and we start believing and start following the Most High again, we get grafted back into the natural, kempt, cared for, nurtured olive tree. Psalms 128 and 3.
Oh, Psalm
128 and 3.
This is the young king. This is wild.
Psalm 128 and 3. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. Thy children like olive plants round about that table.
So wait, read that again.
Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thy house. Thy children,
Israel, read,
like olive plants round about thy table.
So it said we would become a degenerate vine, and it also said we'd be the olive trees. So how is this about anyone else? Jeremiah 11 and 16 to 17. Yeah, was it on 3?
Yes.
Okay, Jeremiah 11 and 16 to 17. All praise Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You people outside of the Hebrew Israelites, and I'm gonna even zero in on that, the One West camps, the rest of the whole earth doesn't know the Bible. All right, and this isn't by our own greatness. All right, trust me. 15 years ago, I couldn't tell you any of this stuff, right? But the Most High has chosen to deal with One West and the root and the offspring of it. I know you guys hate it so much, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, we have collectively, I'm not just talking about Sakari, I'm talking about collectively, the One West camps have the most thorough, comprehensive understanding of the Bible from Genesis to Revelations of anybody on the earth, and nobody has been able to demonstrate contrary. And that's not by our own doing. That is by the prerogative of the Most High God.
Oh my God.
That a couple niggas in a room in Harlem were given an understanding that has spread a worldwide phenomenon of street teaching, of confounding, of high school dropouts and kids. I'm talking about kids. This nigga was 16 years old. He came in this truth to be able to stand on the streets and deal with all comers strictly with the Bible through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Keep hating. I don't care. Right? We got some whole ass nigga in the chat. You know? You know, we're just 8 hours into a live stream. You know, who knows what he does for anybody, right? But his goddamn self, right? Let's keep going.
Jeremiah. My bad.
Jeremiah
11 and 16.
Yep.
This is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 16. It says, the Lord Yahweh called thy name a green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit.
Wait, he called what?
He called thy name a green olive tree.
A green olive tree, right? Read.
Fair and of goodly fruit, with the noise of a great tumult.
Never sleep. You want the link? I think you need the link. Go ahead.
With the noise of a great tumult, he hath kindled a fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken.
See that? So he said that we're an olive tree and the branches will be broken, right? He said that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who the hell, what is the olive tree about? Let's now go to Hosea 14:6. You read that was 17?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
The Lord of hosts hath planted thee, hath pronounced evil against thee, for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves, to provoke me unto anger in offering incense unto Baal.
Right? So through our alienation of idolatry, we got broken off, right?
How's that right?
This whole tone has been set in the prophets about this olive tree parable. Hosea 14:6.
Hosea 14:6. His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive tree, and his smell as Lebanon.
It's all about Israel, right? Israel, beauty shall be as the olive tree, right? Sirach 32:24.
Sirach 32:24. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse.
Exactly. So it says in our unbelief in verse 30, for as ye in time past have not believed in God, yet have now attained mercy through their belief. How do we substantiate our belief? Through us following the law. So when we began to follow the law back, that's when we get grafted back into that tree precept.
Sirach 10:19.
They
that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant.
A what?
Honorable plant.
Not a degenerate vine. Go ahead.
They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed.
And now we become a wild olive tree in our unbelief in God, in following the ways of the nations in which that we went into. Right? Read.
They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed.
See that? First Corinthians 12:2. Never sleep. I'm the nigga that really never sleep.
1 Corinthians 12:2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols.
That's right. See, we were as we were carried away to these dumb idols, as we were led. That made us into Gentiles. We stopped following our God, start following other people's God, start calling ourselves by other names. This is how we became the wild olive tree. Right? Back to Romans. Let's finish out. What did I say we're going to?
32.
Okay, let's read these last two and then whatever precepts you got. Go ahead.
Romans 11:30. For as ye in times past have not believed in God, yet now have obtained mercy through their unbelief.
Go ahead.
Even so have these.
Basically, through the Jews of Judea, unbelief, it made room for everyone else to come in, right? That was the ultimate plan of the Most High. Go ahead.
Even so have these also now not believed, that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy.
Go ahead.
For God hath concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon all.
So this is all about mercy coming, because all of us had fallen so astray and into so much wickedness. Now he's going to be merciful to all the 12 tribes and save us, though we're unworthy of this salvation, because of how much we fall and misstepped and sinned against him, right? So all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Any precepts you got now? Go ahead. All praise to the Most High.
Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. Now, how are we Gentiles in the past? We're just going to tell you that at time you were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. But now in Yahushua, ye who sometimes were afar off are made nigh by the blood of Christ. Here's how we were made afar off. Ezekiel 23:17. And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredom, and she was polluted with them. This is talking about Judah, and her mind was alienated from them. So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her.
So basically, the Most High is saying, here's my wife, Judah. She goes on to Babylon. Nigga in Babylon, she let the Babylon hit.
Yeah.
So once he gets word that Babylon then hit his old lady, he's like, oh, I'm disgusted. I don't want to deal with her. Yeah. Go ahead.
So she discovered her whoredoms and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was, this the Lord speaking, then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister.
I don't want to deal with either of you hoes.
Yeah.
Because both of y'all done gave it up.
Yeah.
That's what the Most High is saying here. But how did we give it up? by worshiping the other gods.
Yeah, that's exactly what 1 Corinthians 12 says. It says you were in time past Gentiles carried away into dumb idols, because the Babylonians wasn't talking about us laying with them, literally talking about their philosophies, which goes right back to this right here, and I'll be brief. Colossians 1:21. And you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your minds by wicked works. That's exactly what Ezekiel 23 and 17 and 18 is talking about. Us being enemies in our mind by wicked works, by following the other nations and being defiled with them. It says that the Lord alienated us. To alienate means to separate. He cast us away. When were the other nations even there with God in the first place to be casted away?
Going back to the word reconcile.
Yeah, exactly. And you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled. Simple.
You know, very, very, very simple.
Sakari.
All right, good. So perfect, because I was dozing off. I mean, it's just so embarrassing. I was dozing off. What time is it? 11 o'clock, 11:02. Perfect. I was gonna get off at 11 o'clock. Yeah, I'm so glad he's finally finished. Oh my God, he made no points. I stopped writing down, and I was dozing off. All right. Thanks for pulling up, but I can't do no more. Like this, like he's a boring teacher. He's terrible. So tomorrow I'm gonna show the back and forth with Stacy and Captain to Zariak on the same topic. Gentile Israelites, is there such thing? All right, man. Like I said, pulling up. I'm kind of patting my hand, got a pad in my hand. I'm still dozing off. I fell asleep last night going live with this guy. I can't do it again. So I'm glad this video is over. I got what I got. He's done. He's going to continue to dodge me, but I think I can force his hand. Shalom. Peace. Shalom. Salam.